what a journey 2023 has been. We've seen one of the greatest seasons in recent history, with the top 8 not being decided till the final round of the season.
There'll be an unexpected splash of orange as part of September.
You've seen the highs.
To protect. It's a long, long ball. It'll need further investigation. This is the greatest to escape.
The lows.
It's a bloodbath at the SCG.
The outstanding.
He keeps it alive and spins it back and might have kicked a ripper.
And even the impossible.
And Carlton will hang on and win their 8th game in a row. Have a look at the Carlton fans of the MCG.
But now it all comes down to this. 8 teams left and only one can reign supreme and stand above all to claim that elusive premiership. Alrighty guys. Oop. Why is this so fucking loud? Sorry, I'm just trying to set up everything. Game's about to start though, so get right into it as it starts. Basically 1 minute to go. Quick check on the subs right now. It's Nick Haynes for the Giants with a massive late out as well. Stephen Cornelio has been called out with an eye injury and has been replaced in the side by Xavier O'Halloran has came in. And the subs are Liam Stocker for the Saints. Nick Haynes is the sub for the Giants. So a bit of experience there for the Saints. For the Giants. But both teams just in their huddles right now, about to go to their positions. I have tipped the Giants for this game, but Stephen Cornelio is a massive out. So that does level the playing field a little bit. It's a bit surprising that the Giants are the favourites in this game, despite it being played at the MCG. Obviously, St Kilda finishing higher on the ladder. We will see how both teams start off this game. I think it's going to be big who can start off the better of the two sides. Alrighty guys, so the first quarter is about to get underway. Team's getting to position now. Looks like Jack Buckley has gone to Caminiti and Sam Taylor will be going to Max King. Looks like Cooper Sharman maybe doing a little bit of a tagging role on Lockie Whitfield. Kieran Briggs obviously in the ruck to start proceedings with Rowan Marshall in the middle of the MCG. Massive game. The winner goes through to play in the semi-final. The loser is out, and from the clearance, Marshall gets it forward for the Saints to get the first inside 50, lands in front of Perryman, he just smothers it to block the bounce, then to Ash, kicks it in the middle of the ground, up went Brent Daniels, but got beaten well by Rowan Marshall. Marshall plays on in the middle of the ground, long ball, deep inside the forward, 50, Sharman! Back with the flight, a great mark! What a great mark, back with the flight, the young man takes a brilliant contested mark. And a great start for the Saints. Looked like the option was maybe Caminiti, but just got in front nicely there, Sharman. And a chance here for the first. So Sharman comes in, not too much angle to speak of. Kicks it low, kicks it straight, and the Saints have the first. Great start for the Saints. Great to get the confidence up. And they lead one straight goal to nothing. So a great start for the Saints. Rowan Marshall just pumping it inside the forward 50. And Sharman just came across very nicely. Took a great mark. Nailed the goal. And the Saints are on the board early. So the Giants may just need to settle a bit. Haven't been at the MCG in a final since 2019. Terrible bounce by the umpire will be recalled. So the umpire goes once again. Marshall, good little thump out forward of the stoppage, but Green coming through, that's Tom. Handball was ill-directed. Higgins nearly cut it off. Crouch looking for the free, didn't get it. Perryman off to Whitfield. He's streaming through the middle of the ground. Low ball inside the forward 50. Cut off well there by the Saints. The kick goes backwards from the defender into dangerous territory. Lands in the front of Toby Green, and he'll dribble it home all right. Giants on the board. Quick start for both sides. Weird decision by the Saints defender. I couldn't see who it was, who dribbled it backwards into a real dangerous area and gave Toby Green a real opportunity to get on the board. So a goal each pretty quickly. That was way too easy from the Saints. We'll see the replay in a minute. I don't know who that was, but I don't know what he was thinking. I think it can't be Cal Wilkie, surely not. No, it looks like it's Josh Battle. Yeah, so he got slung as he kicked, which I get, but don't put the ball on the boot, man. Kicking it backwards, that was a really dangerous decision. But Toby Green kicks the goal, and the Giants are on the board. Back in the ruck now, Marshall wins it down to Crouch. Just got a handball away, play on Marshall to Ross. Kicking it towards the wing, Hill and Callahan in a race. The veteran versus the young. Hill trying to shake him off, eventually gives off the handball. Miss Gresham, good tackle on Whitfield though. Drags him down in front of the interchange gates. And stoppage called. So all three finals so far that have been played have been at the MCG. Close games, Collingwood by 7, Carlton by 6 last night. Will this one be close as well? Whitfield gets the hands free. Handball backwards, misses Himmelberg. Coming through as Ross, just getting a little bit of territory. Sharman does the same off the ground. Taylor's there, back in the side today. Over to Buckley, and now the Giants have a little bit of space. Perryman has some time. Kicks it out wide to the one-on-one. Webster and Lloyd. Webster, good spoil away. Hogan overran it. Lloyd, good handball. Gave it straight off towards Cumming, who drills it inside. Good kick to Daniels. He nearly marked it. Hill taps it into space for Sinclair. Sinclair's handball. He eventually gets it off nicely. Battle. Now Crouch. And the Saints want to go off half-back. Hill has some time. He eventually goes long towards the middle of the ground. Sharman again. Good contested mark. He's had a good start. Looking in the middle of the ground. It's a dangerous kick. Whitfield, good spoil. He'll land in the arms, though, of Ross, who fumbles. Off to Marshall, though, who gets it forward. Dribbling ball towards Higgins. He taps it along, trying to find Wood. Cumming, overran it a little. Wood got tackled well by Perryman. Just let it go. Bedford gave it to Cumming, who dropped it. Higgins, Caminiti, looking for the perfect option. Eventually just slams it on the boot towards the top of the goal square. Taylor running back. He'll just have to get a little touch on it. He missed it. It hits the post, though. And eventually it's a behind for the Saints. So a hot start to this one. Bedford got a little touch there, obviously. Got a reprieve from the tribunal. Well, not the tribunal, sorry. The match review. Sorry, I think it was the AFL in the end. Sorry, the Giants got an appeal. And after 2.5 hours of the hearing, he eventually got away with his hit on Zach Fisher, which was 2 weeks ago. But nonetheless, he's in the side today, which is massive for the Giants. Tom Green kicks it across his body towards the wing, got a bad bounce and runs out of bounds. And eventually called for a boundary throw-in on the outer side. So Canelio in the bench, in the coach's box at the moment. Obviously the laid out, like I mentioned before. From the stoppage though, Gresham trying to get the hands free. Cumming holds him up nicely. So this final's probably been the least talked about of the four. But I think this is a massive game for both sides. Probably the 50-50 one in my opinion. And a free kick's being called. It will go to Jack Steele. So he's got Wood with a quick handball, which he delivers to. Wood had a brilliant start to the season. Been a little bit quieter since then. He goes long towards the 50. Owens trying to get a little bit of body on Himmelberg. It goes past him and Cumming. Happy to run it out of bounds. And a stoppage half forward here for the Saints. So Ross Lyon back at the helm. Hasn't been the Saints coach since I believe in a final. I don't believe since the grand final. So a long time since between drinks there. Down towards the middle of the wing. Good play there from Hogan to Green and Kelly, the Rolls Royce, coming off the wing. Long kick inside the forward 50. Wangly Malira did brilliantly. Free kick has been called though. Go the Giants' way. Green gives it off to Lloyd with the advantage from the pocket. He misses. A little bit of rush of blood there from the Giants. Probably didn't need to play on. Riccardi was in a pretty good position, but Lloyd took the advantage and then in the pocket, missed wide. So the Saints from the defensive 50, they find Battle. He goes in short. They find already on the wing, the Saints, moving the ball quickly. Higgins goes out wide to Sinclair. Picked as an All-Australian. He goes long towards the forward 50. Getting there, Caminiti. Good mark. Late inclusion for Tim Membry, who's out with personal reasons. Does well early. Goes long to the top of the goal square. Up goes Owens, 1-2. Free kick's been called, though. And it will go to Rowan Marshall at the top of the goal square. Owens almost took the mark. Didn't grab it in the end. And a chance here for the big ruckman. Probably got a little bit unlucky with not getting the All-Australian. A chance here to get on the board. So it was Briggs and Marshall at the top of the goal square. Briggs grabbed a little bit. Don't know if that was really there, if I'm being honest. But nonetheless, the Saints have the free kick. Rowan Marshall from set shots, 6 goals, 7 this year. So hasn't been that good in front of goal. But this should be a pretty routine finish here. 20 out, slightish angle. Marshall comes in, kicks towards goal, and nails it. He loves it. The big guy. Marshall on the board. The Saints have got 2. Marshall had a brilliant start. So great transition of play there from the Saints. It was Sinclair who just went long with the kick. Caminiti take a good contested mark. Got it long. And then the free kick was called to Marshall. And they're on the board with their second. So back in the middle once again. Briggs takes it out of the ruck and just kicks it long. Towards the Giants forwards. It's Jesse Hogan in a one-on-one. He gets the hands up. Wilkie did well. Fumble there from Winhager. Diving in there was Hogan as well. Dragged down the Giants player. I think it's Callan Warner will be called for a stoppage. About 25 metres out from the Giants' goal. Saints just having a little bit of too much space at the moment. From the ruck contest, both Briggs was holding, Marshall wasn't paid. Steele tackles well, and another stoppage called. So once again, the umpire throws it up. Briggs pushed out of it. Marshall gets the clearance. Outside the defensive 50 for the moment. Ash should get there first. On the second grab, did okay. Kelly over the top to Cumming, who tried to tap it onto Ash and missed him. Goes out of bounds, half forward here for the Giants. Adam Kingsley, former Saints coach as well. He was an assistant for quite a while. Back in the ruck now. Briggs wins it down forward of the stoppage. Steele just couldn't grab it. Now Daniel stole it in between his legs. Green. Little tap onto Kelly on the right boot inside the forward 50. Sinclair did well. Webster dropped at the crucial stage and tried to drag it under. Did well actually, Webster. Off to Wood, who dribbles it outside the defensive 50 for the moment. Crouch may have been pushed play on. Lloyd, good tackle on Clark. About 55 out from the Giants' goal. Briggs wins it down again. Daniels just gets a handball away. Clark tackled well by Briggs, trying to take him out of bounds, which he does. So a little bit of a standstill in the last few proceedings of this match. Hot start. 3 goals were kicked pretty quickly. Since probably the last 3 or 4 minutes, been pretty quiet. A lot of stoppages. As this game will start to be locked up a little bit more. Marshall wins it down. Trying to grab that ball there was Crouch. Couldn't get it out. Cumming dragged down. Clark did well to try and find Gresham. Himmelberg, smart little underball play. Green to Ash, who kicks it hastily and out of bounds on the fall. So Mason Wood will take the kick here for the Saints. Wearing the collared Guernsey, which I do like. I think they wear that only when they play at the MCG, but it does look very nice. Wood goes long down the wing on the outer side. Iden sitting under it, so is King. Neither could grab it. Phillippo to Higgins. Now Steele kicks it, just jams it on the boot. Towards half forward, it runs towards the boundary line. That will be called deliberate, so Giants will get the free kick here at half back. Couple of Giants fans there today. They'll be making the loudest of noises, but won't be heard too much with a bountiful look of St Kilda fans at the MCG. The long kick, though. Good mark on the wing there from Mason Wood to cut it off. And he immediately wants to go inside. Good kick to Sinclair. He's got some space. Usually a pretty good user. Went towards King. He couldn't grab it with the one grab. Gives off the handball now to Sinclair. He shakes the tackle. Back on the left boot. High ball to the top of the goal square. 1-on-1 is Caminiti. Good work from Iden to smack it away. Haller in the late inclusion. Handballs to himself. Play on there. He'll not play on, actually. And O'Halloran will get the free kick for a hold. So the Giants get a reprieve at the moment. Xavier O'Halloran wants to switch it. The kick across goal. On the bounce to Iden. He did okay to get past King. The kick was terrible, but nonetheless, they get away with it, the Giants. Himmelberg goes in short. And now Cumming can go long. Good kick in the end. He finds Daniel Lloyd, in fact. They're 2 good kicks away from goal. The kick inside, not the best. Green has to clean it up. Did well. Cumming turned it over, and here go the Saints. Clark to Caminiti. Has not many options here still. He goes back to Wood. He goes wider to Battle. Again, doesn't have many options, so he just gets it on the boot. Towards half forward, Iden takes the front spot. Did well. The ricochet towards Buckley, who gets... And then Filippo drags him down. Stoppage called. 2 good kicks away from the Saints' goal. About 80 out. So Ross Lyon looking nervous, as many people would be today. From the ruck, Keefe's taking the ruck spot at the moment. Steele taps it towards Clark. He did well. Clark just dribbles the ball inside. Okay option. Gresham gets taken down. Chasing into Steele. Eventually grabs it. Did well. Delivers a handball out wide towards Wood, who just gets it on the boot. Now Gresham at half forward. Good tackle from Buckley. Clamps him down. Stoppage called again. So back in the ruck once again. Keefe knocks it down, looking for a Giants player, and he went to Steele, back to Wood. He started well. Gets it inside the forward 50 once again. Iden again takes the front spot. Did well, took the mark. Very underrated player, Connor Iden. He's done well this season. He works it out wide. And now the Giants go long with the kick. Did well. Was Hogan to get it down to ground. Keefe let it go for Daniels. Now he has some space. Handball's inside. Terrible handball. Ash could get nowhere near it. Now the Saints cause a turnover again. Higgins, Owens, Filippo couldn't get the handball away. Hunter Clark. That was a bit dangerous. And a free kick will go to Brent Daniels for a high. So the Giants... Oh no, free kick front of the legs actually. It's gone to the Saints' way. Clark goes in short to Cordy, who's about to get shut down. Just got the kick away. Inside the forward 50 to Max King. Great spoil from, I think, Harry Perryman. Max King looked like he was a mark for all money. But a diving spoil from Perryman knocks it away out of bounds. Got to get the hands out, Max King. He went for the chest mark, which gave the opportunity for the Giants defender to knock it out of bounds. So he throws it in once again. Keith again wins it down. Kelly coming through. Gresham locks him up. Clark as well. The ball eventually gets out. Ash. Green gets the clearing ball. Brown did well, and now Whitfield on the wing. Out wide, terrible kick. Wasn't read by the forward, and Cordy cuts it off. He goes in short, finds Wanganeen Malera. He wants to go in further to the middle of the ground. Good kick. He finds Hunter Clark from 60 out. Drives the long ball, top of the goal square. Max King is there! Can't drag it down, though. On the ground, Himmelberg, Iden, and the Giants can clear. Perryman gives off the handball to Cummings, still in the defensive 50, but they run it through hands here, the Giants. They do well. Ash to Callahan, who wants to give it back to Ash. They just keep on going through hands. The wave, or the tsunami as they like to call it. Long kick towards Daniels. Brilliant kick. The shorter man just had to get that kick perfect off half-back, and he found Daniels perfectly, who goes inside the forward 50. That kick's not as good. Kept it in for the moment, Riccardi. It may have gone on the full. And it did. So, very unlucky for the Saints. Riccardi gets the free kick in the pocket. It was a brilliant kick off half back there from Ash. He had to be perfect because if it wasn't, it was easily going to be spoiled by Webster. So he found Daniel and went inside the forward 50. Not the best looking kick. But now Riccardi got a lucky free kick for on the full. And he goes with a little check side option. Really high. Terrible execution. It's still into the period of play, and Jesse Hogan in the pocket has somehow taken a chest mark amongst that pack, and Hogan a chance here to get the Giants back level. Great contested mark there from Hogan. I don't know how he took that, but a chance here. He's locked up right in the left forward pocket, so good for a right foot. It looks like he's going with the drop punt. Eventually runs around, snaps on goal. Brilliant finish. The Giants have 2 as well. So even pegging at the moment. Quickly look at the stat sheet quickly. Leading disposal getter on the ground is Tom Green with the 8. Mason Wood has 7. Rowan Marshall, probably been best on the ground so far, has 6 along with Lockie Ash. And obviously just single goal kickers for both sides. Cooper Sharman and Marshall with the 1. Jesse Hogan and Toby Green with the 1. So back in the middle once again. Umpire thumps it down, not the best looking bounce. Briggs does get it though, towards Ross and Callan Ward coming through, couldn't grab it. Ross gets the clearing ball towards half forward. Sharman running hard. Butler grabs it. Good tackle from Whitfield. Didn't get a legal disposal away. Play onto the call. Sharman handballs it forward. Buckley gets there first. Handball inside's a bit dangerous. O'Halloran overran it. Ward taken down there by Crouch. Hunter Clark gets dragged down as well. And the umpire will call for it. So umpire throws it up here. Briggs gets the tap out towards Kelly. He sockets it off the ground. Couldn't glove it cleanly. It goes out towards the wing. Lloyd, good grab. Gives it off to Bedford, who just shakes off Winhager. He probably ran out of bounds there, Bedford, but got a solid hit. It will be down the field as well. He comes up with a bit of a limp there, Toby Bedford, but a free kick will be downfield to Toby Green. Doesn't have a lot of options to go to. He's looking for the perfect option. It may just have to go long here, which he does in the end. Leading up is Riccardi. Marshall getting back, did well to get it down to ground. Sinclair did okay, good handball to Wanganeen Malira. The Saints, that's a terrible handball. Cumming reads it well, tries to shake off Hill. He couldn't get the handball away. Hill now having to take it out of bounds. Forward pocket here for the Giants. They do well to lock it in. Did really well here, Bedford, just to shake off Winhager. I thought he went out of bounds. Surely he's out of bounds there. I think it actually was called out of bounds, but because of the hit, they actually called for the free kick. No, I don't think that was called out of bounds. That was surely out of bounds. Oh, whatever. Anyway, from the stoppage, Briggs got the tap, and then Marshall slapped it away. Coming off to Kelly out wide towards Whitfield. Gets shut down by Gresham. Wasn't in the back. Play on Bedford. In the pocket. Snaps towards goal. The bounce will matter. Goes through 4 behind, though. And the Giants take the lead for the first time. So battle at a half-back. Wasn't the best kick. They'll cut this off here, the Giants. O'Halloran picks it up. Looking for the perfect option. Inside is towards Bedford. And he takes the mark. 40 out straight. Pretty much straight in front. A little bit of a slightish angle. And what a couple of weeks this guy's had. Not knowing if he was going to be playing in this game. He was so happy when he got the call that he was going to be playing in this elimination final. Came from Melbourne last year. And a lot of talk about him coming. Probably been one of the recruits of the season, if not the recruit of the season. And a chance here for Bedford to go back and get the Giants out by 7. We had a pretty good start, Toby Bedford. He comes in now, 40 out, about a 20, 30 degree angle. He kicks towards goal. Oh, and he's drilling it right. And he loved it. Gives a little kiss to the sky. And the Giants take a 7-point lead. So a great finish from Toby Bedford there. He had that distance in spades, but he loved it. We're in the old Tim Taranto number 14. Drills at home. No one would have seen these teams making the finals this season. Both of them are there. And both of them are loving finals footy at the moment. The Giants have the lead with about 6.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. From the ruck, Marshall wins it down, and now Phillippo gives it off to Ross over the top. Crouch gets the ball forward. Leading King is Taylor, but King did well to bring it with him. Handball to Owens, just missed him. Himmelberg just dropped it! And the Saints will get the free kick. Great tackle from Owens. And a chance here for the Saints to get a quick reply. Well done there from Owens in the end. It looked like he was about to get away there. Himmelberg about to shake off that tackle. But he just locked the arm when he was about to give off the handball. And unfortunately, for the Giants out there, St Kilda will have the shot from the hold the ball decision. What a young player this guy is. Owens tucked up in the right forward pocket. Kicks towards goal. It's high. It fades back. Just not enough. So the Giants outside the defensive 50 now. Whitfield. Goes to Ash. Looking for an option. He gives it off to Whitfield, who keeps on running. Did well. Looking for a kick inside. It's not the best kick. Wood did take the mark, though. They want to keep on going with handball. Good play, Ash. Looking for a low kick. Good find. He finds Toby Green on the lead. Looks like Wilkie has him for the moment. He goes in short. He finds Ash again. I think this is his third disposal in the chain. He's got Tom Green just trying to find a little lead up. He doesn't go there. He wants to go longer. Towards the forward pocket. Sitting in the hole is Owens. He couldn't bring it down. Keith just handballed it to no one. Eventually goes to Wood now. Marshall kicks a long ball outside the defensive 50. Sharman coming across, overran it. Ross was surprised it landed in his lap. Gives it off to Steele. Back to Ross. At halfback they still are the Saints. Wilkie gives it to Wood. And he goes long down the wing towards Sharman. It's just a little bit too much for him. Taylor gets there, does well. Handball over the top of his head. Couldn't get it away. And then Whitfield happy to run out of bounds. So 4.5 minutes to go in this first term. Giants lead it by 6 points. So on the outer wing they are right now. Briggs tried to take it out of the ruck, eventually grabbed it well and then kept on going. Long ball towards the forward 50. Wilkie sitting in the hole. Good spoil there from Battle, but it goes straight to Toby Green. He snaps towards goal. The tumbling ball got a bad bounce. Brown couldn't glove it. Off to Keith. He shoved off one. Handball over top to Brown, and I think he got a boot to ball. He claims the goal. He looks pretty confident. Umpire has called it a goal. So the score review will be coming here. I think it just nicked his toe. We'll look at the score review. Yeah, he did get a little slight. I think he hit the Nike logo on this, not the Nike logo, the X-Blades logo on the side of his foot. And then it just trickled through nicely for Callum Brown. Wasn't the most convincing goal, but he'll definitely take it. So the Giants get a 2-goal lead late in the first term. So the decision comes up onto the scoreboard right now to let everybody know that that is a big-time goal for the Giants. And the crowd pretty quiet, but the Giants won't mind that one bit. So at the moment, 2-2-14 are the Saints, 4-2-26 are the Giants. And it's a big goal. So just over 4 minutes to go in the first term. Well done there from Briggs to get that clearance as well. Said, I'll do it myself, boys. Just got it long. Riccardi did well to cause a contest against two Saints defenders. Green read it brilliantly. Long ball. They nearly mucked this up here. Keith with the handball over the top. Callum Brown only just got boot to the ball. And they are in front by 2. From the ruck contest, Marshall gets a little small kick outside the clearance. Ward going hard with Sharman. Spills out to Clark, who dribbles one towards half forward. Himmelberg just slaps it away towards Green. Did well. Ash again. He's getting a lot of touches in this first term. Whitfield got a big hit. And he'll get a free kick for his troubles as well. So Lockie Whitfield on the wing. In short. Finds Callahan. He's got Perryman in the middle of the ground. He was about to go there, then that got shut down. So he just had to kick it to half forward. And Tom Green, back with the flight, took the mark on 50. Maybe a little bit too far out to score, or else although he may look to go for home And a chance here for Tom Green to get their 5th goal of the quarter. After the Saints had a hot start, the Giants have really dominated the last 10 minutes. So Tom Green comes in. He just sets it up at the top of the goal square for his forwards to go. Green against 3 almost brought it down. That's Toby. Daniels just took the tackle. Should have been pinned. Wasn't paid. Steele smacks it away from that congestion. Owens probably threw that out play on. Butler gets the clearing kick, but he'll be coming back. The Giants cut it off. In short now to Callahan. He gives it off to Perryman from 50. He just wants to set it up in the pocket, but it's all St Kilda there. Brad Hill takes it. So the Saints take a little deep breath. Short to Cal Wilkie. All Australian once again. Goes short to Webster. The Jimmy Webster. In short to Hill. Just taking a little bit of sting out of this one, the Saints, but Hill goes immediately towards the wing. In front is Iden. Did well to cause a contest. Free kick's been ripped out. It'll go to Giants' way. Advantage Gold. Ward. And now Kelly on the at half forward. Has a few options. Works one in short. Brilliantly done there from Kelly. He finds Brent Daniels. About 40 out. 45-degree angle. Great play there from the Giants from that play. The Saints didn't play to the whistle. They thought it was going to go their way. A little bit unlucky in the end. But the Giants get forward well. And Kelly's always going to use the ball well going forward. So Brent Daniels, a little bit of an arc. This comes back. It does brilliantly. Brent Daniels nails the goal. And the Giants are out by 3 straight late in the first quarter. How you doing, Bryce? Just tuning in from the east coast of the USA. It's almost 2 a.m. and I can't watch the game from here. Oh, that sucks, man. The east coast of the US. Why are you interested in the footy, man? The AFL footy, anyway. Yeah, sorry, I can't show you the game, obviously, because our channel will get ripped down. But yeah, that's why I commentate the games. So the Giants lead by 3 goals, only 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Briggs, a little tap out the back towards Steele, though. Now Marshall, handball underground, pretty dangerous handball to Crouch. Just got it on the boot somehow. Running through his Whitfield, he did well. Clearing a 40 for the Giants. He gets inside the forward 50. Wilkie did well to spoil it away. Sinclair pushed as he kicked it. Didn't get a kick away, though. Green off to Daniels in short to Kelly from 50. Josh Kelly likes to pump one long. But it fades away and goes through for a point. So 19-point lead, late first quarter. Waylon Malira not taking anything too dangerously. Just goes straight through the middle. And now the Saints can stream through the middle of the ground. Over the top there is Gresham. He wants to go long. 2-on-1 here for the Saints. Owens probably spoiled Caminiti. Iden just got the handball away. They got the numbers here, the Saints. Giants do well with the scrambling defense. Higgins out to Gresham. Now Hunter Clark gets on that left boot. It goes high to the pocket. Sharman's there. Takes a good mark. Saints did everything to mess that up. But Sharman takes the mark in the pocket. He got one early got the first one of this game. Cooper Sharman tucked up in the left forward pocket. Chance here to kick his second. His dreams are coming true today. Playing a big final on the MCG. Snaps towards goal. He's hooked it too much. And it's through for a point. Probably rushed a little bit if I'm being honest. The Giants have a late chance to maybe get one here. Still 24 seconds on the clock. They're going to have to go quickly if they want to make a quick transition. High speed and fast moving sport. So it does a good job at keeping me interested. And I choose the Giants because I watched Josh Kelly highlight reel about 3 years ago. And that's how I became a GWS fan. Oh, that's cool. Don't have a lot of them here. They're the newest club in the AFL, but still. That's good to see. Long kick inside the forward 50 here. Late chance here for the Saints. Phillippo couldn't get rid of it. Higgins handled it towards Owens. He probably couldn't glove it well. Tom Green handles it outside the defensive 50. The siren will sound right now. And that is the quarter time scoreboard. St Kilda had a really good start, but it's the Giants who came hard late in that first quarter take a 3-goal lead at quarter time. Scores are 2-3, 15 to the Saints. Down by 3 goals, 5-3, 33 to the Giants. Who's my club? Mine's the Sydney Swans, so I'm not too impressed we lost last night, but I really thought the Giants... I thought the Carlton were going to win anyway, so I wasn't really... I mean, I was disappointed, obviously, but not crying over it. Let's just say that. Alright guys, just bring up the statistics now. Quarter time. Christ. Can you just... Thank you. Alright. Oh my god, this is so annoying. Alright. Alrighty guys, so at quarter time, leading disposal getters on the ground are Tom Green and Lockie Ash with the 11 touches. Mason Wood has 10 along with Lockie Whitfield and Rowan Marshall. And then for the top scorers out there, all sole goal scorers at the moment, Cooper Sharman and Marshall were the only 2 for the Saints. And then the top 3 here for the Giants are Jesse Hogan, Toby Green and Brent Daniels, all with the 1 goal. Bring that up there. Okay. I'll be back in 10 minutes. I've got to run to the gas station and grab me some Red Bull or else I'm going to fall asleep. Good choice, man. I actually might make a coffee myself. To be honest, it's not that late, but I'm going to be up for the next final as well. I didn't even realise you were there. Sorry, Butters. Oh shit, I forgot about that. Just give me a sec, man. Alrighty guys, welcome back to the Boundary Riders podcast. Today, it's all about the... Alrighty guys, welcome back to the Boundary Riders podcast. Today, it's all about the finals, which have... Oh, that doesn't matter anyway. Alrighty guys, welcome back. I have to change it anyway. At half time, that's okay. Oh, my neck crust. What country do you believe an international AFL team would be based in? Whew, that's a big call. Anyway, how you doing, Suns King? Oh, jeez. I think the game has to get a lot more... I think it's very unfortunate that the AFL actually don't put a lot more effort into international broadcasting and international, like, I don't know, getting international eyes into this game, because I think there are a lot of international people who watch it, who, like, really like it, but it gets no broadcasting outside of Australia, which is really disappointing. I think it'd probably be New Zealand if we had to get an international side first, because it's so close to Australia, and I know they broadcast a lot of the games over there. Although in saying that, I think in the international, I think they have an international game, an international tournament every year, and I think I don't know if it was Pakistan who won it, but I think they were. I don't think they would have an international team out, obviously. Obviously, New Zealand would be the pick because it's so close. So if that teams had to go over there every single week or every 2 weeks, they obviously couldn't go too far. But yeah, I think a team like New Zealand would be an option. But yeah, I think the AFL really need to put some more broadcast this game a lot more than just in Australia, and need to fix it up, because even games like the NRL and stuff, which is like the Australian rugby league, is like broadcast across the world, and they're even playing around like half a dozen games in Las Vegas next year. But anyway, guys, the second quarter is about to get underway. Giants in front by 18. Umpire thumps it down, and here we go. Briggs gets the tap, does well. Kelly dragged down from Ross, and the recall of the stoppage will happen here. How are you feeling about the Suns' hopes next year, Suns King? I think they're up for a big chance. From the stoppage, though, Briggs gets the clearance towards half forward. Hogan did okay, handles it towards Kelly, went past him, though. Ross gets the clearing kick for the Saints. Long kick, cut off well by Buckley. Did brilliantly there. So Buckley goes inside, dangerous kick. Play onto the call, got a little bit unlucky there. The Giants player, but Kelly cleans it up. Buckley's kick again, not the best. Almost cut off by Tom Green. Ross going hard. King dropped it. Ward to Taylor. And now the Giants can take a little bit of a deep breath. Whitfield out to Buckley. A third chance here for his kicking. Again, not the best kick. And Sinclair didn't hold his head up. And now the Giants can cause the turnover again. O'Halloran off to Daniels. He breaks about 60. Kicking inside was brilliant. He finds Toby Green. And a chance here for the Giants to take a 4-goal lead. And he goes short again and finds Brent Daniels. Saints a little bit of sleep there. But Jack Buckley, 3 kicks in a row that he almost turned over, but his teammates did everything they could to not let him have that turnover go the other way. And the Giants eventually get it forward. And a chance here for Brent Daniels to kick his second. So Brent Daniels, 35 metres out, 45-degree angle, he hooks it a lot, and it won't even score. Out of bounds on the full. I hope Dustin Martin joins. I actually think that's something the Gold Coast are missing, like a hybrid forward. They have their good tools, they have their good smalls, but they're missing a hybrid, in my opinion. I think Alex Sexton would be that option, but he just hasn't came on as a forward, really. So I think that would be a good option for them. But Kieran Briggs takes a good mark outside the forward 50, and it looks like he'll be driving it back. So now Briggs wants to go long and high. Top of the goal square. Wangani Malira went up. Probably almost spoiled Zane Cordy. Daniels trying to pick it up. Still tapping it towards the boundary line. And Winhager happy to have scored it over there. So umpire throws it in once again. Marshall and Briggs lock up. Briggs tried to get a tap out the back, but only went forward. Steele tried to get boot to ball. It came off the side of it. Crouch almost dragged it in. Eventually got it out, though, and it runs out of bounds. Still locked up in that right forward pocket here for the Giants. They've started really well in this second term again. Haven't got on the scoreboard yet, though. Umpire whips it back in again. Briggs takes the front spot, taps it down towards Bedford. He gets past him. Wangani Malira fumbled it. Coming through there was Wilkie, just took the contact. Heart and soul of his club, Cal Wilkie. All-Australian picked once again, which he deserved. I think it's the second time for him. from the ruck. Marshall just takes it out and kicks it straight into Sinclair. High ball up the chimney. Green did well. Coming in the pocket. Almost got that smothered. Wanganeen-Miller sits in the hole and takes the mark. Oh, no, it wasn't 15, so it's taken out of bounds. Still in that right forward pocket here. Saints enduring a lot of pressure at the moment. Once again, Briggs thumps it down straight into the face of Crouch. Ricochets to Sinclair, who kicks outside the defensive 50 for the moment. Cuts it off, though, is Ash. Probably just a little bit too far out to score. Maybe on the run he'd be a chance. He's looking for an option. And now he points to the umpire. He's gone for home. So Lockie Ash had a brilliant start to this game. Really good 1-2 combo with Lockie Whitfield off half-back. He went to go, then goes in short to Toby Bedford, who gets away. And again, these half-forwards of the Giants doing a lot of damage early. Poor play there from the Saints, just not looking, just unaware. No way was Ash going to make that distance. He was always going to look for an option, and Toby Bedford just led into a real huge amount of space, and a chance here for the Giants to get another goal, their first goal of the second term, and Bedford get his second. So Bedford comes in. He'll probably kick on 50, runs a little bit of an arc, kicks towards goal. It's going to hold that left goal post and doesn't make it. Oh, they're going to confirm this. So I don't think that. I think I went through for a point. So as a score review here, umpire did call A behind. I just want to see if it went over. Well, I don't know what they're going to do if it didn't go over. It's over there, dude. Even if it didn't go there, let's just say it didn't go there. It trickled over the fucking bed. Oh, whatever. It was a point, guys, if you didn't know that. If you didn't know from my disgust. Obvious. Oh, wait. Maybe it hit the boundary line post. Did it? Even if it didn't go, even if it didn't go over the line, it hit Marshall's foot and went over the line. Yeah, no shit, idiot. Fuck me. It didn't even make a fucking difference. Fuck, I hate this game sometimes. Maybe that's why it hasn't gone international yet, because we just pissed off so many people watching. It's like, what the fuck is going on? What the hell is wrong with these umpires? Anyway, maybe I'm just being cynical. Anyway, Sinclair for the kick injured. Is here for the Saints. Goes long and wide towards the outer side. One-on-one is Owens. Did well to take the front spot from Perryman. Crouch probably got in the back. Wasn't paid to him. And Hill escorts it out of bounds. Oh, great. Oh, perfect. Saints have only had it 8% of the time inside the forward half in the second term. The Giants are dominating but can't get on the scoreboard at the moment. Briggs got the tapper, went straight to Marshall. Clearing ball towards the wing. Gresham couldn't mark. Iden taps it to himself. Did brilliantly, Connor Iden. May even get a free kick for his troubles. No, he doesn't. Oh, it's called deliberate, so a free kick will go to the Saints here on the wing. Probably a good decision in the end. Iden did look for the line, but I thought he did pretty well. Nonetheless, long kick here for the Saints to half forward. King causes a contest. Whitfield did well to Ward. Now Tom Green just thumps it on the boot towards the wing. Green couldn't grab it. Wanganeen-Miller did well to Winhagen. Now Steele goes wide. Good kick. He finds Brad Crouch, who's been brilliant this season. He wants to give it to the runner in Hill. He does in the end. Now Hill wants to go long inside the forward 50. Fucking, I'm going to sneeze. Play. Fucking Christ. Anyway, Ward gets dragged down by Ross. And he gets pinned holding the ball. Oh, Jesus Christ. I've always wondered that with commentators. What happens if they have to sneeze? Do they just have to pass it on to someone? But anyway. Seb Ross here a chance to get a goal really against the flow. Callum Ward looking for the high one. Didn't get it. And then got dragged to ground. Dropped the ball. Good decision from the umpire. So the Saints really need this for a momentum changer because they've been dominated early in the second term. Seb Ross comes in. He hooks it a little bit. Hits the post. It came back a bit. But it's behind there for the Saints. So a logjam on the scoreboard in the second term. Neither team able to score a goal. But the Giants are dominating it. Lockie Ash will take the kick in here. He wants to go to the broadcast side. He eventually goes long. High ball. Contest forms. Wilkie. Great mark. No one takes the mark, so he's happy to go and play on. Low ball inside the forward 50 towards Caminiti. Good spoil there from Taylor. In fact, it was Lockie Ash with the spoil. Players being put down inside the forward 50 for the Saints. It's Dan Butler, and a chance here for Dan Butler to get the goal. The Giants would hate at the moment. Undisciplined here from... Oh, that's weak. That is fucking weak. Harry Himmelberg's given away a free kick inside the defensive 50 or forward 50 for the Saints. That was really piss weak, I'm going to be honest. Fucking hell. He pushed him and Dan Butler was already going on the ground. That's weak. I mean, yes, you don't have to do it, but also it's like, come on. But Dan Butler did win a premiership back in 2017 with the Tigers. Went into the Saints. Found it hard to get into this side at first, but now is a really pivotal part of this forward line for the Saints. He goes around the body. Dan Butler, he hasn't hit it very well. It's still in the goal square and thumped through there from the Giants, so a rush behind. The Saints is getting a little bit of momentum back in the past few minutes. So Ash now going with a long kick again on this broadcast side towards the members. Wilkie did well. 1-2, he got that. 2 intercept marks already here, Cal Wilkie in this second term. He works it inside towards Gresham. He wanted to give off the handball, doesn't have that option now. Eventually he decides to go long to the top of the goal square. Up went, Filippo and Caminiti spoiled each other. Now Ash with the clearing ball. Does well there, Riccardi. Handball back to Cumming. Handball's a bit dangerous though. Read well there by Perryman. He gives it off to Tom Green, who's about to get dragged down. Gave it off, and here go the Giants. Ward to Perryman. Here goes Callahan, the young wingman. He wants to go long to a one-on-one. It's Jesse Hogan out the back. Great mark from Jesse. And a chance here for the Giants. The past few minutes, St Kilda took a little bit of momentum back. But a chance here for Jesse Hogan to get the first goal of the second term. Really unfortunate there from the Saints. Caminiti and Filippo both got hands to that ball, but spoiled each other in the process. And Jesse Hogan a chance here straight in front. 25-30 out to kick his second goal. Usually a pretty good set shot, Jesse Hogan. He comes in, little stutter step, kicks it. Hugs that left goal post, but it's through. The Giants get the first goal of the second term. They take a game-high 23-point lead. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, Haydos. How you doing? Who do I think will make the grand final? Ooh. At the moment, I'll see how Brisbane go tonight. If Brisbane win, I think they can make it. If they lose, I think it will be Collingwood and Melbourne. That's just my call at the moment, though. Just had to rush a quick Zach Butters edit for TikTok. Good call, good call. So it's still just over 12.5 minutes in this second term. Giants can finally get the first one. Briggs down to Kelly, does very nicely. Gives it off to Briggs now. Now Tom Green, always going inside the forward 50. This guy with a long kick. Not the best looking option. Wilkie does well, but gets dragged down by two Giants. Hogan and Green. That's Toby. And it's a stoppage inside the forward 50 for the Giants. They're starting to just put a bit of a gap here on the Saints. Not obviously known for their attacking play. But if this deficit gets too much, it's going to be really hard for the Saints to lock back up. Briggs wins it down to Toby Green. He snaps on goal. And it just goes through for a behind. Marshall had a really good start to this game, but that's obviously you guys can't hear I'm assuming you can't hear the game commentary, but they're bringing up a good point that Kieran Briggs has really done well in this second quarter. But here go the Saints, rebounding off halfback. Hill to Winhagen. Now Webster, they get locked up a little bit on the outer wing, but now Webster goes for the low ball towards half forward. It's a terrible kick. Callahan cuts it off. Himmelberg probably owes him a bit of ball at the moment to Kelly. Goes to the long ball towards Jesse Hogan. Got hit hard by Cordy. Play on's the call. Umpire put the whistle to the mouth, but it wasn't paid. Now Hill, wanting to find the perfect option. He just runs himself into a bit of trouble. Handballs it over to Ross. Ross little underground ball towards Gresham. And he just handballs it forward to space. Runs out of bounds. Out on the outer wing. Saints got to be doing a little bit better here. Filippo in his first final, of course. Zane Cordy was picked over Dougal Howard, who was prepared for this game but wasn't picked. It was very surprising in my opinion. It has been a little bit of talk that he could possibly be traded out at the end of the year. From the ruck though, Briggs wins it down. Bedford gives it off to Callahan. Snaps the ball on the wing here. Eventually runs out of bounds. And true centre wing right now. Stoppage is called. Briggs wins it down again. Steele can't get it away now. Bedford gets the ball forward here for the Giants. It's a high ball, not the best option. Riccardi didn't read it well. It hits the ground. Here go the Giants. Toby Green off to Riccardi. Little inside out of job is brilliant. Jake Riccardi kicks the goal. They're up by 5. And they're going to be hard to beat, the Giants. Great goal there from Jake Riccardi. Toby Green did well on the ground, and Ross Lyon searching for answers at the moment. The Saints fans distraught at the moment. They're being well beaten by this Giants lineup. As my phone hit the ground, by the way, guys, that's what that big bang was. Well, not big bang, but bang was. Oh, that hurt. Well, not even hurt, but it was just surprising. Anyway, no, that was just the big bang of the Giants going for Golga. Oh, God, whatever. Great kick from Riccardi. Little check side kick for you people here in South Australia. The banana for people outside of South Australia. So I just call it the inside-outer job. From the ruck, Marshall wins it down, but straight to Briggs. Callahan couldn't glove it. Clark gets tackled well by Callahan. Locked the arm up. And another call. And the umpire will call for it back in the middle of the ground once again. They've kicked 6 straight goals here, the Giants. And the Saints are going to find it really hard to peg back these goals quickly. Marshall and Briggs in the ruck, both of them miss it. Ross just slapped it out of there. But now it's Kelly. Gets it on the boot. Forward once again here for the Giants. Bouncing in front of Wilkie. Got a terrible bounce. Now Lloyd at the back to O'Halloran. He gives it out wide to Toby Green. He stepped out one way, then the other. Looking for the perfect option here. Toby drills one in short towards Lloyd, I believe. He picks it up. Daniel Lloyd. Oh, another one. Here comes the Giants. Daniel Lloyd nails it. They're out by 6 goals. And this is ominous. Daniel Lloyd, great pickup. Great goal. Can you believe it? The Saints are getting dominated, being one of the best defensive sides of the competition this season. They're getting kicked off the park at the moment. Still 10.5 minutes to go in the second term. They've kicked the only 3 goals of it. They've kicked the last 7 goals. Even that kick from Toby Green was pretty terrible, but just any time he touches the ball, just turns to gold. And the Saints really need a lift in the middle of the ground. From the ruck, Marshall kicks it away towards Crouch. Sinclair spikes it forward, but it's all Giants once again. Kelly on the right boot. He's in with all that confidence. Kicks it to half forward. Brown slapped it away. Hard hit there. Freak will be going to the Saints. They take the advantage. Really not much of an advantage to begin with. Webster sends it up the chimney high ball, and Perryman happy to slap it into the members. St Kilda fans looking pretty angry, pretty sad at the moment. They were hoping for some dreams to be coming through tonight, or this afternoon. And they're just getting, these dreams are getting smashed at the moment. Back in the ruck, Marshall just ragdolled out of it. Briggs handballs it forward to no one in particular. Sinclair cuts it off. Now Ross has some space on the wing. Sends a low ball. Giants do well. I think it was Buckley. Great spoil. And they're still in bounds here. Kelly grabs it. Looking for the handball option. Eventually just gets it to boot. Gets some territory. Wanganeen Malera taken down by Bedford. Trying to yank it out of his hands is Whitfield. He did brilliantly. Playing onto the call. Here goes Callan Ward. No, it was called for a free kick. It will go to the Saints. So Wanganeen Malera will get the free kick. I think it was a throw against Bedford or Whitfield. And the Saints will get it. So Wanganeen Malera doesn't have a lot of options again. They're just getting all shut down by the Giants at the moment. The kick to Wilkie wasn't 15, so he has to give it off to Webster. That kick isn't 15 either, but that one will be paid for some reason. Hunter Clark, he's got a free man at centre-half forward. It's Cooper Sharman. Great work from Perryman to get back. And then slaps it away. The Giants are just all over them at the moment. Briggs gives it over towards Toby Green. Callahan fighting hard. He can't get rid of it. Sharman gets the ball forward here for the Saints. One-on-one here. Is Butler 1-2. Couldn't grab it. Owens got taken high. Wasn't paid now. Iden working hard. Does well to slap it out. Perryman being good. Off to O'Halloran. High ball towards the wing. Oh, just went down the stairs there, Sinclair, and fell down. Eventually got rid of it somehow to Crouch. Now Steele out the back to Hunter Clark. Looking for an option. Goes out wide. They take a breath here, the Saints. Webster takes the mark. Just fell down the stairs there, Sinclair. He just went straight to ground with the kick. Almost made a meal of it there, the Saints, but they get away with it. Webster goes long with the kick. Player get pushed in front of that player. Wasn't paid. Iden just took the contact, then took the ball. Off to Warner. Now Callahan streaming off half-back again. The Giant tsunami in full display. He goes out wide to Callum Brown. Wanganeen-Malera chasing him down. Great tackle. But then breaks him off. Does well. Off to Bedford. He wants to go inside, then goes on the outer. High ball towards half forward. 2-on-2 here. Wilkie goes up. Riccardi did well to cause the contest. Stays in bounds for the moment. Callahan was there to give off the handball. Smother that handball well, and it goes out of bounds. 8 minutes to go in the second term. The Giants want to put the killer blow in now. Wanganeen-Malera did really well with the first part of that tackle, but then just didn't hold him down, really. It wasn't good enough. And then Bet was able to get rid of the ball, and the Giants get forward with this one. From the ruck, once again, Briggs probably wasn't held, wasn't paid. Fighting hard as well. He's played brilliantly, Kieran Briggs, so far. Kicking ball inside the forward 50, the bouncing ball. But Daniels did well. Little slap onto Hogan. Gives it back to Brent Daniels in the pocket. You'd give him a chance. He sets it up brilliantly. And he finds Josh Kelly. About 20 out. 45-degree angle. Great work from Brent Daniels. Just didn't give up on the play. None of the Giants players did. And this is to send it out to a 42-point lead. Saints are in all sorts at the moment. And it's thanks to this guy, really. Kieran Briggs is having a instrumental game so far. He's having a massive influence on it. I think he's been the best player on the ground. Josh Kelly comes in. He drills the goal. And the Giants are on fire at the G. Heaps of time in this one. But 7 goals the difference. It's really hard to see the Saints being able to mount a comeback at the moment. Some may have thought that the Saints were basically the only team who wouldn't win this week. And at this stage, they may have had a point. Josh Kelly been really good as well. They now lead by 42 points. Still 7 minutes to go in the second term. No one would have seen this team making finals at the start of the year. And not only are they in the finals, but they're dominating this game. They've kicked 8 of the last 9 goals. Back in the ruck now. Marshall wins it down to Steele. And now Sinclair gets it forward once again. Good pick up there from Gresham. Higgins over the top towards Butler. Iden takes the contact, then dropped it. Owens trying to get rid of it. Good tackle from Iden. Dragged him to ground as well. And now the Giants again repel the danger. To Lloyd. Perryman dribbling ball towards the wing. Came off Bedford's foot. It just lands in bounds and goes out of bounds. And half forward here for the Saints. Saints fans know this is not looking very good at the moment. And it's going to be extremely hard to get back into it. Ross Lyon looks pretty... Just doesn't look like he has many answers at this moment. He wants to get to his troops at half-time, but the game may be all but done by then. Wins it down there, Marshall. Crouch gets it back to Marshall, back to Crouch. Inside the forward 50, Sharman. 1, 2, got it! He looks like the most dangerous forward at the moment, Cooper Sharman. He missed one a little bit earlier. He kicked the first goal of this final, and a chance here to keep the Saints in touch almost. So Cooper Sharman, who would have thought this guy would be the most influential forward for the Saints today? Takes a deep breath. He comes in now. Kicks towards goal. He gets the goal! Saints finally get a reply. He's got 2, Cooper Sharman, and keeps the Saints' hopes alive. They know it's a long way back, but there's so much time still on the clock. So good goal there from Cooper Sharman. Took a good contested mark inside the forward 50. But this is where they need a lift here, the Saints. In the middle of the ground, Marshall needs to start dominating more on the less experienced player. He wins it down, but the Giants get the clearance. Toby Green in the middle. Thumps it long. Good work there from Battle to push Riccardi under it. Takes a good intercept mark. He wants to go, but has no options. Eventually finds a long ball towards Cooper Sharman. He didn't go up, but he got it on the ground. Gives it off to Wanganeen Malira. He wants to run. He can't get it. Sharman over to Wood. Hasn't been had any touches so far in the second term. Off to Wanganeen Malira. They have a chance here. Higgins got to go. He went over the top quickly. Butler locked up in the 50. Long kick towards Match King. And he takes the mark. Match King, I said. Holy shit. Oh, that sucked. But finally, Max King is into this game. And he needs to start firing if the Saints are going to get back into this one. This is where it starts. Max King goes around the body, snaps on goal. He's missed it! He's missed an absolute sitter, Max King. Took it too quickly. He didn't take his time. There's no need to rush. There's still heaps of time in this game. Taking 30 seconds there and kicking the goal, much more important than taking it 15 seconds and messing it up. So it's 35 points now. Giants get away with that one a little. Himmelberg thumps it long down the wing. Probably got an arm held to Riccardi. Wasn't paid. Tom Green tried to slap it forward, but it goes out of bounds. So back in the ruck now. Marshall just took it out of there. Almost got pinned for it. Sinclair couldn't grab it. Bedford did well. Ball locked up. Stoppage called again. Cal Ward on the ground at the moment, being seen by the dock. He doesn't look too good, if I'm being honest with you. Has really not moved too much. He eventually gets to his feet now. Doctor called to shove away, basically, by the umpire. And Callan Ward always been tough. He gets up pretty much straight away. From the stoppage, though, Briggs wins it down on as far as Sinclair. Now Ross do well here. The Saints, they've lifted in the past few minutes. Steele gets the ball long inside the forward 50. Buckley read it well, but then missed the mark. Hits the ground. O'Halloran to Iden, who's been brilliant so far. Off to Whitfield. And he loves a little bit of a run, this guy. He takes a bounce on the MCG wing. Long ball towards Brown. Goes up, didn't bring it down with him. Did well to push Wilkie out of the way, but the Saints can rebound. Battle to Wanganeen Malira. Did well to step one opponent. Then goes with a high ball into the middle of the ground. That's a dangerous kick. Did well, Iden, but hits the ground. Butler got beaten well by Tom Green. Always strong over that one. Ash gets rid of it to Kelly. Now Tom Green just tries to block himself past Gresham, which he does. Ash over the top, turned it over. Phillippo to Owens. Out wide to Gresham. Doesn't have a lot of options. Hooks it back inside to Max King. He's starting to fire. Good mark from Max King. And the Saints need to get this one. Great mark from King there. Just got Sam Taylor locked under it. Going back with the flight was a great mark. And great work there from the Saints on the wing. They looked like the Giants were about to get away. But they just were able to get that ball. And then Max King took a good mark. Finals are won in these sort of situations. The comebacks. Can Max King start the run? He can start the run right! Here come the Saints! Big goal for the Saints. Back to 29 points. And maybe if they can get just one more before half-time, the momentum and the way the Giants are moving the ball may well be locked up by the Saints. If they can bring it back to 23 points with another one, they're right back in this game. We've seen in the past few finals, the Swans last night and the Melbourne Demons the night before that, were able to just stay in touch with their opponents. And could they do what the other two couldn't, the Saints, and come right back into this one and possibly steal it? It starts here and now. Back in the middle once again. Briggs wins it down, but again the Saints will get the clearance. Steele, looking for an option, just snaps it on the boot towards half forward. Good play. Playing in front was Gresham. He's done well in the last few minutes. But they just were able to get that ball. And then Max King took a good mark. Great mark from Max King. And the Saints need to get this one. Great mark from Max King. And the Saints need to get this one. Great mark from Max King. And the Saints need to get this one. Great mark from Max King. And the Saints need to get this one. Great mark from Max King. And the Saints need to get this one. Great mark from Max King. And the Saints need to get this one. Great mark from Max King. And the Saints need to get this one. Great mark from Max King. And the Saints need to get this one. Great mark from Max King. And the Saints need to get this one. Great mark from Max King. And the Saints need to get this one. Great mark from Max King. And the Saints need to get this one. Great mark from Max King. And the Saints need to get this one. Great mark from Max King. And the Saints need to get this one He has a couple of leads at him. Eventually just goes long and high towards a 2-on-1. A free kick's been called out. And it's going to go to Max King. So a free kick to Max King. As I mentioned, he's definitely lifted in the past few minutes. A chance he'd have his third shot on goal in about 2.5 minutes of play. And kick his second. So not the best angle here. 45-degree angle. Only 25 out, 20 out. Max King drills it home. They know they're back in it, the Saints. Max King getting the crowd up. Good finish. Back to 23 points. And that livens up the crowd all right. I was silent for the first quarter and a half, but now he's suddenly got this team alight. And with that quick goal, they could get another 1 or 2 here, the Saints, and peg this lead right back. So from that contest, Gresham took a great mark leading up and just went long. He just knew that he had his tools. They're hot at the moment. And then player got dragged down. I'd like to see that again. Don't know if they'll show the replay, though. Back in the ruck. Marshall wins it down to Tom Green, who gets dragged down from Ross. Free kick's going to be called. Tom Green will get it. So he plays on now. Wants to go long with the kick. High, 2-on-2. Tom Green. Oh, he went up, almost brought it down. On the ground as Hogan did well. Whitfield ducked his head there. Ward trying to duck out of the tackle. Play on. Hill got worried out of it by Bedford. Winhager couldn't glove it. Coming to Bedford. Missed Whitfield. It got to Ward, though, who now gives it to Whitfield. Oh, he's a smooth mover. Kick out towards centre-half forward. Kelly couldn't get there. O'Halloran dropped it. Should be pinned. Wasn't paid. Ash off the ground. Gets it inside the forward 50. Keith, good pickup. Gives it off to Kelly. He's always a smooth mover, this guy. Kicks towards goal. Oh, Josh Kelly. Silence the haters, young man. Good goal. He silences the Saints fans. And the Giants get one back. Back to 29 points. Just when all looked like the Saints were coming right back into it, the Giants respond. He should have been holding the ball though against O'Halloran. He just dropped the ball on the ground, but that's just how footy works nowadays. He's had a good game so far, Josh Kelly. So we're back in the middle once again. Still a minute and a half to go. Marshall tried to get the clearance, hit ricochet. Now coming to Ross. Gets it inside the forward 50. Owen sat under it, couldn't bring it down. He gets out the back though. Bad bounce. Taylor did okay. Handles it to Ash. They'll rebound off half-back here, the Giants, and maybe a chance for a late one as well. Kick towards Brown. Good mark. So now Brown looking... Yeah, they still want to go with the Giants, which is good to see. They don't want to just stop and hold this lead. They want to try and keep on increasing it. In short to Lockie Ash. He's had a good first half. He eventually now plays on. Goes towards half forward. Toby Green went up. Wilkie did okay to bring it to ground. Tom Green... Happy to see it out of bounds with Webster. 56 seconds on the clock for the first half. Gil McLaughlin watching on. Actually a Saints fan, so he'd be a little disappointed so far this first half. But I'm sure he's just happy that footy's back at the MCG with massive crowds. Briggs wins it down. Steele let it go. Ward just handled it forward straight to Gresham's toes, who picks it up nicely. Sends it down the wing. Good play to cause a contest at Owens. And he may get a free kick for his troubles. He didn't. Ash to Whitfield. Buckley dropped it back to Whitfield. Handles it over the top. Missed to Ash. Ash just took the Saints player out of the contest. And it runs out of bounds. A couple of Saints fans a little bit frustrated with the umpiring decisions in the past few minutes. Can't say I blame them with a couple. Briggs tried to take it out of the ruck, couldn't do so. Halloran just running into it, eventually just taps it forward. Gresham does well to grab it. Had a handball option, just stood past Green, did well. Let the traffic pass him, and now to Steele. He thumps the ball long inside the forward 50. It's all the Giants, though. Oh, they all overran it, and a free kick's gone the Saints. They play on, though. Oh, he's going to make it up towards Hill, who gets the ball on the boot. The Saints get one. They did everything to mess that up, the Saints. But Brad Hill nails the goal, a late one. Keeps them in touch towards halftime. Oh, hang on. This is going to be score reviewed. Hang on. Umpires called us a goal. They just want to check if it was a behind somewhere. Oh, it may have hit the post. Well, they have to bring Edge in. I don't... Well, I mean... Nah, it's a goal. I think just the umpire wasn't in good position. I think it's a goal. So no spike on Edge. A goal is called, and Brad Hill luckily gets a late one for the Saints. They almost ran out of time there, but Brad Hill jammed it on the boot. Siren hasn't gone yet. And the Saints get the goal. So back to 23 points, which will be the halftime score, unless there's something crazy in the next minute or in the next few moments. No, it wasn't Connor Iden, it was Isaac Cumming. There was no need to grab on a Dan Butler. It was a 4-on-1 in the Giants' favour, and then he gave away the free kick, which caused this play out the back. And then the Saints nearly messed that up as well, but Brad Hill snapped the goal. And the Saints get a late one. They conceded 8 consecutive goals to the Saints, but they've got the 4 of the past 5. Umpire thumps it down, won't be too much longer. And the Ruckman get the little tap. That's all for the first half. The Saints got dominated in the first half of that second quarter. But the Saints fought back with 4 of the last 5 goals. And at halftime, scores are 6-6-42 to the Saints, down by 23 points to the Giants, 10-5-65. Alright, I'll bring up the statistics now, guys. We've got a halftime. Oh, right. Right. Alright guys, so at halftime, leading disposal getters on the ground is Lockie Ash, been really good for the Giants so far with the 22. Josh Kelly with the 19, probably the best on the ground in my opinion. Jack Steele with the 18, along with Tom Green and then Lockie Whitfield with the 17, rounding out the top 5. And for the top goal scorers out there, we have multiple goals scored for Cooper Sharman and Max King, along with the 1 for Rowan Marshall. And then for the Giants, we have Josh Kelly with the 2 goals, has been really good so far. Jesse Hogan with the 2, and then Jake Riccardi on there as well with the 1 goal. But guys, it is half time, so we'll be back in about 15 minutes for the second half.
Alrighty guys, welcome back to the Boundary Riders podcast. Today, it's all about the finals, which of course is starting this week. This will be coming out on a Tuesday, and at this stage, I think we're looking at one of the biggest final series we've seen in quite a while. for their teams. One is Jamie Elliott for Collingwood, and the other one is Bailey Fritsch for Melbourne. Now, both these guys have proved in the past that if they can stand up in big games. I think that their matchups are going to be really key to see who can get on top. I think that McVee will probably go to Jamie Elliott, maybe even Michael Hibberd at this stage. And for Bailey Fritsch, I think it either goes to Maynard, but probably more Quaynor. So both of those guys, so all those defenders really need to have a massive game to help out their side. Form, obviously at the moment, probably Melbourne are in the better form of the two sides, but with that week off, it can always mess up a team's sort of progress than going straight into a final series. Obviously having the week off can diminish their chances a little bit. It also gives Collingwood a bit of chance to get their players back. Now obviously it doesn't look like Collingwood are going to get back Nick Dacos, which is going to be big. So we'll see how that one pans out. A couple of people have actually said that Collingwood will go out in straight sets. I don't actually think that. I actually have tipped Collingwood in this game. I think they will have enough to beat Melbourne. I just don't trust that Melbourne still have that forward line to go forward and be able to beat some sides this season, including Collingwood. They're able to beat up against the bottom sides, but there's been a couple of times this year when they haven't been able to exactly kick a winning score. And I think they're going to struggle against a couple of teams in this final series, but I think their defense will hold up against a few. So I am going to say that Collingwood will win this one, I think by about, I've said here, 15 points. I've got it all written down on my phone. So I think a 15-point win to Collingwood. I think they'll be able to get them around the ground. And I think Collingwood can get on top in the forward line. And I think Jamie Elliott's going to be a really pivotal part to that. I think Myercheck got back into a little bit of form recently. So I think he has a bit of a chance to get a bit of a bag as well if he can get on top of people like May and that. But it is, and I think a pretty big loss to Melbourne's forward line is Jake Melksham. Now, I think most people would be surprised by that, obviously, even at the start of the year, that Jake Melksham will be a bit pivotal part to the Melbourne forward line. But I think he really is, and I think that they're going to lose a lot from that. I will be interested to see if they do bring back Brodie Grundy to this side. I don't know if they will, because I think Tom McDonald is a better option, in my opinion, because he's actually a forward when Brodie Grundy is not. So I think they should pick McDonald over Grundy, but I don't know which way they're going to lean. If they're going to be leaning on the side of we need to play Brodie Grundy to keep him at Melbourne, if they even want to do that, I don't know. But at this stage, I think Collingwood will win this one by about 15 points. I think it'll be quite a close one, maybe a couple of late goals to Collingwood to break away, and we'll be going to the prelim final. But now Carlton versus Sydney. I think this is going to be quite a complex game. I think that the Swans have been in pretty good form. But obviously the last 2 weeks of the season, they got very lucky against the Crows. And let's be honest, they wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for the if Ben Keys' goal was allowed. But on the other hand, I mean, you don't know how Sydney would have played the next week if they didn't have a guaranteed spot in the finals against Melbourne, if they would have slowed down in that last quarter or whatever. So you can't exactly say the Crows wouldn't have made finals, that the Swans wouldn't have made finals. They may have played better in that last game if it wasn't for that. But obviously on paper, Sydney wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for that disallowed goal. So, Carlton, however, though, did lose their last game against the Giants, and I think that's something that Sydney can exploit. So, in the last game against the Giants, obviously, to a degree, Carlton didn't have to do much. They didn't have to win that game. They kind of got Charlie Curnow, his Coleman, and then slowed down a bit. But there was a little point there where you could see where Carlton kind of went back to their old ways of just bombing long and hoping for Mackay or Curnow to take a pack mark, which they're not really pack markers. I mean, they occasionally do, but their main source of avenues to goal is basically get out the back and score goals that way, which, I mean, some people could say is like a cheating sort of thing to do. But, I mean, I think it's just a very good attributes that those two guys have. Get up the ground, then beat their defender back. So, I think Sydney can exploit that, and Carlton, if they do fall into that pattern on Friday night, I don't think they'll win this game if that happens. However, I think that Carlton's big loss as well in that game was Blake Acres. I am surprised to say that, but he was actually one of the big drivers from their transition game throughout their big run over 8 wins, 9 wins in a row. So that was something that was a big loss midway through the game against the Giants. And if he's not back, that's going to be a pretty big one. So I think that he is the player for Carlton who needs to, if he does play, he needs to be a big contributor. A 20-25 plus disposal game, get a lot of metres gained, get Carlton to transition the footy. And he's also quite a good clearance player around the ground because he always just gets the boot to ball and can get a good 50 metres of territory on Carlton's side. And the one player I'm going to earmark for the Swans is James Rowbottom, because I think that a lot of this season, James, has been Sydney's barometer in the middle of the ground. There's been some times where they've been absolutely destroyed by teams, especially in clearance and stoppages around the ground. But Rowbottom has been pretty good in there this season. I think that he's arguably been Sydney's best midfielder inside mid behind Chad Warner. I'm not going to count Errol Gordon. He is in there a bit, but I think he's more of an outside midfielder. So I think that James Rowbottom is the real barometer in the middle in this game, and I think that that's where the game can be won and lost. If Sydney do not at least equal at the stoppage, they're going to get beaten and well beaten against Carlton, because Sydney have been able to get away a few times this season, especially in their run towards final, with that being able to lose and considerably lose at the stoppage. They can't do that in this first final because Carlton will just destroy them all day, and having a potent forward line up there, if they can just get it in there enough, eventually they will score. So that's why I'm going to say that's the big talking point of this one. Who can win in the midfield? Who can take over? And yeah, like I said, Akers will have to be the driver. And I also think as well for Carlton, Mackay has to stand up. He can't just can't be a passenger in this game. If Curnow is getting the ball bombed on his head, Sydney will double team him all day. And Mackay cannot simply just sit there and let that happen. He needs to have an impact in this game or Carlton will lose. But to my tip for this one, I'm going to say that Carlton will win. And I think I've written here 4 points. I think this is going to be a really close game. Sydney don't tend to win by a lot, and Carlton, I think it's going to be a little bit of pressure on them early, but I think they'll pull Sydney back in the second half. So I think that the Carlton will win by about 4 points, and I think the match winner probably will be Charlie Curnow. I think at the end of the day, Sydney have been dominated by him in the past. I know they did earlier in the season, Sydney did beat them, but that was when Carlton were really down and, really out of it. I think that Tom McCartan will go to Charlie Curnow and can hopefully stop him for Sydney fans out there like me, but I do think that Charlie Curnow can get on top, and if Carlton can just get a good enough ball use inside the forward 50, then they should win this one, and pretty convincingly. After that, though, we get to one of the games that it's probably been the outer of all the games being talked about so far in this final series, which is St Kilda versus the Giants almost. And I think this game can both be... I think this game's going to 100% be on the transition, or who can pressure up more on the transition of play, and which keys down both sides of the ground, whether it be Jesse Hogan, Jake Riccardi, or Max King, who can get on top on that department, because I think they both have very good key positions on both sides of the ground, and I think the midfield and the transition game will be massive in this one. I think that the likes of Lockie Whitfield and Lockie Ash for the Giants will be massive in this game. If they can get enough disposal and not much pressure on them, then the Giants will run this game all day. If the Saints can stop that, though, which their forwards can definitely do that, Dan Butler, Jack Higgins, Jake Gresham, they can definitely lock down with the pressure. The question is, though, can they do that on the big stage at the MCG, because they don't play at the MCG as much as Marvel Stadium. So we'll see how that one works out. But if St Kilda can get their transition game up and running, I think they do have a chance of winning this game. I think it is a little bit surprising that despite St Kilda having the home game, that they are not favourites here, and the Giants have been talked about very heavy, not heavy favourites, but just a lot more favoritised in this game over St Kilda. Considering St Kilda are coming into the final series with, I think, 4 of their past 5 games being wins. So that is a big talking point, but I think the one matchup that is going to be the breaking point of this game is whoever matches up on Toby Green. Whether it be Jimmy Webster or Cal Wilkie, if they aren't able to stop the influence of Toby Green, as we've seen in massive games even this season, but in final series in seasons gone past, if he gets away, it's going to be very hard to stop the Giants, and I don't think they'll win this game if Toby Green can kick even just multiple goals and have a bit of an influence. He's just so big around the ground, Toby Green, and he's actually the big reason why I'm going to be picking the Giants. I think that he's been in massive form this year. He just got picked as an All-Australian captain, which he 100% deserved. I said, I think it was last podcast, so I think he's been the best captain of the year, and I think my brother said the same. He also polled 25 votes in the Boundary Riders Medal, which is obviously the most important medallion of the year. I'll be interested to see how many votes he gets in the Brownlow, but at this stage, I think the Giants will win by about 12 points. At this stage, I think St Kilda can lock them down and will be very stingy on letting goals go through. But I think at the end of the day, the Giants just have a little bit more quality around the ground. I think their transition game can get over the top of St Kilda. One big question mark of the Giants, though, is their pressure game going to be up to a finals-like atmosphere? That is the one big question on them. whereas something that I think the St Kilda can exploit. However, I do think the Giants have just got a little bit more quality around the ground, hence why I think they will win. And then to the final game of the first week of the finals is Brisbane versus Port Adelaide. And this may be the one that's been talked about as almost a certainty to some, which is that Brisbane will beat Port Adelaide. And I am going to give Port Adelaide a bit of an out here, as I do think that this game will be won on the defence. As not an out for Port Adelaide, sorry, but I think that Port Adelaide can exploit some parts of Brisbane, and I do think at the end of the day this game will be won from which team can defend better. Both these teams are really good on offence, and we've seen that throughout the whole entire year, both teams being able to kick 100 plus points many times throughout the year. Brisbane have arguably had the most potent offensive line in the past 2 or 3 years. But it's always been a question of their defence, and they've found Jack Payne as obviously a very good option down back this year, but that was basically to cover the option of Marcus Adams, who has now had to retire due to concussion. So we'll have to see who can win that. I'm also talking about all-team defence as well. Port Adelaide do have a little bit of an up on Brisbane, that they are a very good pressure side around the ground. But if Brisbane can just get around that first line of pressure, I think they do have the speed to get around Port Adelaide. However, I do think as well that Brisbane do have a lot more grunt in the midfield compared to Port Adelaide. I think there are a lot more, a lot more strength around the middle of the ground inside the stoppages compared to the players like Rosie and Butters, who, they are very good and they do very well to get the ball out of stoppage. But I think the likes of Dunkley and Neil are just a little bit stronger over the ball. However, I do think the one matchup that is going to be the talking point of this one, and could be somewhere Port Adelaide can... I think this will be decided, the matchup of who wins this game is like in the middle, is Lachie Neale versus Willem Drew. I think that Willem Drew has been very good in his couple of tagging roles he's done this year. We've seen him do it against Nick Dacos in that massive game, obviously late in the year, and he played really well on Nick Dacos, kept him really uninfluential throughout the whole night. And I think he can do that again against Lachie Neale, as we did see. Lachie Neale doesn't exactly like a tag. We saw it in the Q clash with Toot Miller, was able to completely lock him out of that game, and the Gold Coast were able to get up with blocking all of his influence on the game. So I think that's something that Port Adelaide can exploit, and I think that Willem Drew, if he's able to lock away Lachie Neale for all of the 4 quarters, not 3, not 2.5, he needs to lock him away for all 4 quarters of the game, I think Port Adelaide can get on top. However, I just think that Brisbane's offense is just going to be too much for Port Adelaide's defence. They're still looking for that one defender, Port Adelaide, to really challenge for a premiership, in my opinion. And I think that Brisbane, at the end of the day, with the likes of Danaher, Hipwood up forward, I think they're just going to be too potent. And I've picked Brisbane to probably have the biggest win of the first week of the finals by about 28 points. I think it'll be a close game for about 2 quarters, but I think at the end Brisbane will just have too much power on the offensive side and just take this game out of Port Adelaide's grasp. But this that is obviously going to be the first week of the finals. Those are my tips for the first week. So for the rest of this podcast, I wanted to talk a little bit about some finals predictions at this stage. So we obviously, at this stage, I think that Collingwood will win the first final. Like I said, go to the prelim. Melbourne will go down and will play Carlton in the semi. I think GWS will beat St Kilda, go to the semi, and Port Adelaide will play them at Adelaide Oval. Melbourne will beat Carlton at the MCG. I think they'll just be a little bit better quality, and will play Brisbane in the preliminary final. And I think the Port Adelaide are too good for the Giants at Adelaide Oval, and then they'll play Collingwood in the prelim final at the MCG. And then in saying that, I think that Collingwood will win the prelim against Port Adelaide at the MCG. I think they're just going to be too good there. And Port Adelaide haven't been the best there this year. They've obviously got smashed against Collingwood earlier in the year. We only just held on against Essendon with a Dan Houston goal into the siren. I think they got to win against Richmond, but yeah, they haven't had too much success at the MCG. So I think that's where Collingwood can get on top. And I'm actually going to pick a bit of a surprise here. I think Melbourne can actually beat Brisbane at the Gabba. And the reason why I say that is we've seen so many times Brisbane choke at this stage of the season, and I just think that Melbourne on the defence can hold off of Brisbane, and I think that Melbourne can actually get a chance. So my choice for the grand final is Collingwood versus Melbourne. I'll just give you a quick tip. I think it's really hard to say because I've said Collingwood in the first final, but I kind of have a feeling that Melbourne will go and win the granny for some reason. I don't know why, but that's just what a feeling I have at the moment. So I'll say it's still 50-50 at this stage. I just think the grand final will end up to be Collingwood v Melbourne MCG. I think it'll be a massive game. Massive crowd, obviously. Both big Victorian teams at the MCG for grand final day. I think it'll be absolutely massive. And it'll be kind of fitting considering all the years we had for COVID off. Last year we had Sydney versus Geelong. So I think it'll be two big clubs from Victoria going up against each other in a granny would actually be huge. And that's my predictions for who makes the grand final and how the final series will work out. If I had to pick Gary Ayres medalist, which, if you guys don't know, is the best player performed throughout the final series, I'm going to be picking Christian Petrarca. And I say that because I think him playing forward could be a key for Melbourne to actually find a way forward this in the final series. I think they're going to struggle to find goals from their forwards, so I think that the likes of their midfield like Viney, Oliver and Petrarca have to stand up. And I think if Oliver can just drift forward throughout the whole entire final series, which I think he can, I think he can definitely find some goals, and he will always have an influence in the stoppages, so that's my pick for the Gary Ayres medalist at this stage. That's really the main part of the podcast for the footy side of it. I just wanted to... it's going to be a pretty short one because there's not really a lot to talk about this week, but we do have a couple more things planned for the this week as well for videos. So first of all, we're going to be trying to get out a trade video sometime this week as well, because there's been a lot of trade rumours flying around. We've seen the likes of Bailey Smith, who I don't think is going, by the way, but that's just one that's been flying around. Brody Grundy, obviously. So many others. Liam Henry's now being talked about as leaving. Brockman. There's just so many things to talk about, so I think we'll be doing a trade video. We may also be doing a trade targets video of what every single AFL team needs coming into the trade period. I think that'd be pretty cool as well. And that's probably about it for videos. But I do think we'll be trying to stream 3 of the 4 finals on obviously this channel, how we commentate it and stuff. I don't want to do a Swans game. I just don't want to do a Swans.
Alrighty, guys. Second half's about to get underway. All players getting back into position now. And here we go. So the Giants up by 23 points at halftime. The Saints got a late one, though, from Brad Hill to give themselves a little bit of momentum going into the second half. From the bounce, Marshall couldn't win it. Steele did okay, got trampled almost by Green. Cumming grabs it, gives a little kick away towards Daniels. Out wide to Kelly. Brilliant in the first half, spun out of trouble brilliantly. High ball inside the forward 50, sitting under it. Great mark there from the sub, Liam Stocker. So Liam Stocker is on the ground. I will check quickly who has been subbed out. Looks like could be Filippo or Clark. Or maybe even Caminiti. I'll quickly check in a minute. So Jack Steele over the kick at half back. Low ball on the wing. Good kick in the end. He finds Winhager. He wants to give it immediately to Brad Hill. Didn't have a lot of options. Just trying to make up a plan as he goes on with it. Kicks it out wide. Ross gathers it well. Usually pretty good with the left boot. Kicks it in short. Lead up is king. Should have taken it in the hands. Play on. He dropped it. Gives it off to Gresham. Gresham kick inside was brilliant. Play on to the call. Sinclair hooks it to across goal. Up goes Mason Wood. Couldn't get there. And Buckley slaps it out of bounds. So umpire throws it in once again. Marshall slaps it back towards Sharman. Gresham coming through nicely. Gives it off to Brad Hill. He got one late in the second turn. Snaps on goal. Didn't get enough bend on it. Through for the first score of the second half. The Giants go outside the defensive 50. Stocker went up. Couldn't bring it down. Wood just kicks it across his... Oh, tried to kick it across, but came off the side of his boot out on the fall. So a free kick will go to the Giants. Lockie Whitfield will take it. Doesn't have a lot of options, so he just goes in short, finds Cumming. He wants to go back to Whitfield down the ring. It's not the best kick. Butler did what it would take to cut it off for the moment, but Whitfield goes inside the Wood. That wasn't 15. Trying to get rid of it. Had time. Should be in trouble. Umpire gives him a reprieve, though. Still heaps of time in this game for the Saints. There's only 22 points the difference. And they kicked 4 of the last 5 goals of that second term. Back in the ruck, though. Both ruckmen just tossle up. Couldn't get rid of it. Now Briggs gets the clearance forward. Sinclair does okay. Little handball to Winhager. Over the top now, Wood. He was good in the first quarter. Was quiet in the second. Needs to lift. Long ball. Great play there from Taylor to cut it off. So at half back now. The Giants want to go into Ward. It was a dangerous kick. Chop of the arms, though. So if Ward will get the free kick. He's got Callahan in short. That's where he goes now. In fact, it's Perryman, sorry. So Perryman now indicates he's going to go along with the kick. Towards half forward. Up goes Hogan! Well done there to Marshall to cause a contest. Brought it to ground. Coming through. Couldn't do much with it. Marshall to Stocker. Now Hill jams it on the boot. Towards the wing. Ash blocks it, but then couldn't gather it. Butler going hard. Got the ball. And then just somehow out of a tackle. Just shimmied out of it. Winhager out wide towards King. That's a great mark. Strong hands. Taylor with all the pressure. Couldn't stop him. Now King. Wilson goes long towards Cooper. Sharman! He almost took it. On the ground now. Himmelberg got boots of ball and he just. Ash off to Kelly. And now they can rebound here, the Giants. Callahan takes a second bounce. Doesn't have a lot of options though. Finally has a lead up and that's Keith. So now Lockie Keith on the wing on the broadcast side. Has Callahan in short. He looks to go into the middle of the ground. Dangerous kick from Lockie Keith. A little bit too much for him. Don't know about that. He's turned it straight over to Steele. And now the Saints can counter. Gresham gives it off to Brad Hill. In the center of the MCG. Goes long. It's a terrible kick. And Sam Taylor reads that all day. He gives it off to Himmelberg who fumbles. Under a bit of pressure. Did want to break past Sharman. Gives off the handball to Tom Green. Again, they're just moving it a little bit slow at the moment, the Giants. Goes with the kick down the wing. Not the best kick. Well done from Briggs to cause a contest. Bring that to ground. Wilkie. Underground ball to Wood. Now Marshall. Not really known as the run and gun player. Goes long towards Sharman. Himmelberg does well to bring it to ground once again. He gets back first. Handballs. He finds Green. Oh, that's a smothered. Well done here, the Saints. Marshall gets it on the boot quickly. Tumbling towards half forward. Owens taps it to himself. Then hit the ground there from the Perryman bump. Ash gives it off, almost threw that away, play on. Wanganeen-Malira overran it. Butler tackled well from Perryman. Drags him down at centre half forward. Giants have been trying to exit the defensive 50, the defensive half for a bit, for the past few minutes, but every single kick when they go forward has just been terrible. The Giants may be getting a little bit pressured up at the moment. Briggs wins the tap down, runs towards half forward. Winhager spins out of trouble, gives it off to Brad Crouch. This will be the perfect start for the Saints. It fades late and goes through for a point. Great work from Winhager. Did well to spin out of the Whitfield tackle and then Crouch needed to finish there. So Winhager looks like he's going on a lockdown job with Josh Kelly in the second half. That's going to be a big matchup. Whitfield in short to Himmelberg. In the back pocket. He's got Ash. Brilliant in the first half, Lockie Ash. Has the most disposals in this game so far. He wants to go. Just goes in short to Whitfield. Just trying to take a little bit of sting out of the Saints' momentum at the moment. So now Whitfield goes out wide towards Ward. Now Kelly does get the ball now. So I'm sure they're fine with him touching it here. It's a little bit more closer to goal there, a little bit concerned about. Great work from Hogan to push Cordy under the ball. So just outside 50 here is Jesse Hogan. Probably a little bit too far out to score. Looking for the perfect option. Goes high and long to the top of the goal square. Brown went up. Marshall took the mark. Good play there from the big ruckman. He's got a lift as well, Rowan Marshall. Kieran Briggs beat him well in that second term. Wanganeen-Malira in short, finds Battle. He wants to give it back to him. He didn't. Team's finding a little bit hard to transition in this early in this third term. Battle goes through a bit of a stroll. And eventually goes along towards the MCC members. Buckley. Oh, Butler! Got up! Landed like a cat and the Saints can go. Hill gives it off. Good kick. He finds Owens who wants to wheel and go. He knows it's a one-on-one inside forward 50. One-on-one is Sharman. He's had the hot hand so far today. Himmelberg fights hard and did well. Well done, Harry Himmelberg. Gives it off to Tom Green. The kick is woeful, if I'm being honest. Hits the ground now. Stocker, the sub. Wheels on the left boot inside the forward 50. Himmelberg again. Couldn't grab it. Owens gives it off to Mason Wood. High ball inside the forward 50. It's all Giants. They all hit the ground though. Taylor trying to get a kick away. Got smothered. Out the back here all St Kilda. Crouch. Winhager. Can it rebound to Crouch again? Daniels working well in the back half. Gets the kick away. The Saints are keeping it in bounds for the moment. But now Daniel Lloyd gets away. Probably got a high one. Wasn't paid. Down the ground here the Giants. They want to keep on going here. They want to get a quick answer. Toby Green calling for people to come up at him. He calls for Riccardi. He couldn't mark a well done there from Battle to slap it away out of bounds. Good work there from Riccardi to knock it out. It was not the best kick to Sharman. It needed to be a lot more deeper so he could run onto it. It just gave Harry Himmelberg a slight chance, which he took in spades. But a great mark on the wing there from Dan Butler. Free kick's been called on this ruck, and it's going to go to Rowan Marshall once again. So now Marshall, tumbling punt to the wing. Ash couldn't read it. This may work for the Saints. Gresham locked up, but Owen steals it from him. Perryman locks his arm up. And a stoppage called again. So a little bit of a standstill in this second half so far. Yet to be a goal in it. Marshall and Keefe in the ruck. Marshall wins it down. Crouch left it behind. Green gathered it cleanly. High ball for Kelly. Good mark. He's had a brilliant game, Josh Kelly. He wheels and goes now. Hooks it inside the forward 50. It's Toby Green. Who else? Been a bit quiet today, Toby Green, if I'm being honest. Hasn't had a huge influence on this game, which is probably good to see. The Giants are still playing well without him having a massive influence. But if he can come along in this second half, they're going to be really hard to beat. And a great kick from Josh Kelly. Really coming of age game, in my opinion. I think he's had a lot of good games in his career. But he's never really had a really good final as well as he's playing today, in my opinion. The best players are known for playing well in big finals. Josh Kelly's standing up in spades. Toby Green's done well in big games before. But can he send this one out to 27 points? It comes in, Toby Green. He's hooked it a little. It'll land just inbounds for the moment, but Wilkie takes it through for a point. So now the Saints want to go with the rebound quickly. He gives off to Brad Hill. He goes long to the outer wing. One-on-one here. Up goes Toby Green. Well done there to Mason Wood. Took a good mark. Though was playing on it, in fact. So it must have been a free kick. Wanganimallera goes to half forward. Off the ricochet. Sharman grabs it, then dropped it with the tackle. Good play there from Buckley. They have the numbers out wide here, the Giants. Cumming did well to shake the tackle. And now Lloyd has some time. Kicks it inbounds towards Brent Daniels, who wants to go. He steps inside of Soccer. He goes long to the one-on-one. It's Jesse Hogan. Great work from Wilkie. On the ground, Cal Brown. Oh, luck of the Irish. Not too much there. He missed there, Cal Brown. He should have done better there. Little poke in the eye there on Mason Wood from the marking contest with Toby Green. So he's coming off the ground at the moment, Mason Wood, to get checked up on. Meanwhile, the kick down the wing, Filippo, hardly been sighted in this game, overstepped it. Now the Giants cause the turnover. Tom Green goes long. One-on-one is Cal Brown in front! Good mark. Had a chance just moments ago to kick a goal, Cal Brown. He wasted it. Should have more luck here. Good work there, Cal Brown. Just got in front of Jimmy Webster. And a chance here for the Giants to send it back out to 29 points. Callum Brown comes in. He's already kicked one today. The one that just hit his shoelaces. This one's a lot more convincing. Callum Brown kicks the goal. 29 points once again. So St Kilda had a lot of the momentum. But nonetheless, it all comes to nothing. The Giants get the first goal of the second half. So the sub player is actually Caminiti, for people wondering. He has been subbed out, and Liam Stocker has been injected in at halftime. Nick Haynes is still an unused sub for the Giants at the moment. So we're back in the middle. Looks like Owen's going to take the ruck duties here, and Briggs just muscles him out of it. Takes the ball and kicks it long. Inside the forward 50, Riccardi coming hard. Spoiled away there, Webster. Thump forward once again there, the Giants. Then thumped away the other way. A little bit of volleyball action. Tom Green gets it on the boot. It bounces forward out the back of the play. Stocker gets it. Little kick was good. Finds Sinclair. He wants to go, but doesn't have an option. He's going to be locked down almost. Got tackled by Bedford. Then kicked it towards the wing. Not the best kick. Himmelberg will cut it off. Out of the grasp of Higgins, who really needs to lift in this game. He's hardly seen it all day. So now Daniel Lloyd will be his last game. If they lose this one, the Giants, they'll keep his career will go on if they win, which at this stage will look likely. But of course, still a long way to go. Whitfield has the ball. Kicks a low ball inside the forward 50 to the one-on-one. Hogan in front. Good work from Cordy. Wilkie dragged down and dropped it. She got a bit lucky there, Cal Wilkie. Was a bit relaxed on that. And Brent Daniels came up behind him and dragged him down. Dropped the ball. Umpire throws it in just inside the 50 here for the Giants. Once again, Briggs wins it down. Bedford couldn't grab it. Still fighting hard for it. Bedford did well. Handballs it to Cumming on the Telstra logo of 50. May have got a high one play on Sinclair. Good tackle. Umpire calls for it. Still 8.5 minutes in the third term, so there's still heaps of time for the Saints to get a couple of late ones like they did in the second term. Filippo looks like he's been ejected into the middle. Gets the kick towards the wing. Sharman at the back. Himmelberg in front did well. Now Kelly. Snapping ball inside the forward 50 in front. Jesse Hogan. Giants just muscling these Saints a little bit in the last few minutes. And Jesse Hogan a chance to kick his third goal. It was just a bit of a chaos ball inside the forward 50, but the forward always in front. Jesse Hogan takes a good mark. Usually pretty good at this stage, at this part of the game, Jesse Hogan. Usually a pretty good set shot kick. About a 45-degree angle, 35 metres out. Hogan comes in, little stutter step. He's hooked it a lot. Not the best. It's not going to make the distance. In the pocket, Wilkie couldn't mark. Riccardi soccers it to space. O'Halloran handballs it inside. Only Clark was there, almost threw it out. Wilkie kicks it away. It will land in front of Sinclair, who just jams it back on the boot again. Trickling ball towards the interchange gates. Running hard is O'Halloran, who gets their first good pickup. Hit the toes of Taylor. Still trickling around out there, but the Giants do well with numbers. Iden back to Whitfield. And now Buckley. Just wants to take a little bit of a deep breath. The centre half back, he finds Himmelberg. He's had a good third term. Kicks into the middle of the ground. It's a dangerous kick, but it's actually going to work. Whitfield gets to the free kick. Got a hard hit there from Josh Battle. And the Giants want to have a bit of a wrestle here. Stand up for their mate. Fly the flag. Lockie Whitfield just wants to go with the footy. And while the Saints were fighting, the Giants got forward. So Kieran Briggs takes the mark. And a chance here for the big ruckman, who's had a massive game, Kieran Briggs. Probably second best on the ground behind Josh Kelly. A chance here to kick the Giants out by 35 points. They were up by 42 in the second term. The Saints pegged it back. A chance here for the Giants to peg it back even further. He's left it out to the right, through for a behind. So an even 5 goals the difference now. So Stocker to take the kick in here for the Saints. Former Giant, way back at the start of his career, goes long with the kick. Iden in front did well to take the mark. He goes inbound. Good kick. Iden finds Cumming. Doesn't have a lot of options here. In fact, it's Callahan, sorry. Goes long with the kick to the top of the goal square. They've been dangerous in these situations. Up there. Oh, nearly took that Hogan. Hit the ground, though. Webster fighting hard. Ross stuck under the tackle. Clark just gets the handball towards the boundary line. Riccardi wants to keep it in. Then just handled it. Filippo made it is. Trying to get him to drop it. Wilkie kicks towards the boundary line and kicks it on the full. So the Giants will bring it back here through Jack Buckley. Saints right up against it at the moment. Still 5 goals. It's going to be hard to see them coming back. They've only kicked 6 for the match so far. They're going to have to kick more than 5 to win it. Buckley plays on and goes long to the top of the goal square once again. The numbers are in the Saints' favour, but hits the ground here. Owens and Stocker happy to rush it through. So 31 points the difference. So Stocker out wide. He finds Ross. Ross wants to go long now. High ball, 1-on-1 here for the Saints. Marshall got pushed under it a little. Ward, actually you take that, Mark. So Cal Ward had a pretty good game so far. He now plays on. Cal Ward looks inbound. Eventually wants to go long once again. High ball, been a lot of this in the past few minutes. Up when everyone had all hit the ground. Now Ross running off half-back. Inshore, good kick. He finds Higgins, who's been dead silent all game. Goes out wide. Terrible kick. Out of the... Nowhere near Brad Hill. So, of course, guys, the next game, Brisbane versus Port Adelaide, qualifying final, will be pretty much straight after this one, which we will be streaming as well, so make sure to join us. Back from the stoppage, though, Briggs knocks it down towards Callahan. He runs hard. Filippo pushes him out of it, but then goes to Callahan somehow. Whitfield threw that away. That should be gone. Wasn't paid, though. Buckley somehow turned out of trouble to Ward. Callahan and now Bedford in the middle of the ground. He's going to sprint away from Steele. Long tour 1-on-1. It's Riccardi and Cordy, but Riccardi. Too strong, too good. And this is almost to shut the gate. They may be the youngest club in the AFL, but they're standing up at the moment, the Giants. Great run through the middle of the ground. And Toby Bedford's kick was to the advantage of Riccardi. It was brilliant. And Cordy couldn't do much about that. Riccardi comes in, drills the goal. 37 points the difference. Currently just looking at the stats quickly. Leading all comers on the ground is Lockie Ash and Tom Green with the 25 touches. Lockie Whitfield with the 24 along with Josh Kelly. And then it's the Saints with Jack Steele, 22, Rowan Marshall, 21, Ross, 18 along with Brad Hill. And if the goal scorer is out there, 2 goals to Sharman, King, Kelly, Hogan, and Cal Brown. And Jake Riccardi, who just got the last goal. They're nearly there, the Giants. They could almost taste a semi-final against either Port Adelaide or the Brisbane Lions. Frack from the ruck. Briggs couldn't get there. Neither ruckman got it, but Briggs did want to tap it back towards Green, who kicks it to half forward. Toby Green try to hold Wilkie out. Now Daniels over the top to Bedford. Wasn't in the team last week. Now he's in the team and loving finals footy. Toby Bedford, shut the gate. The Giants, I think, are there. 43 points, game-high lead. Even though there's only a few Giants fans there today, they are loving this at the moment. Great finish from Bedford. Great work just to get the ball forward once again. The clearances have been dominated by the Giants, I think, today. And again, just the scrambling forwards, these little mosquito fleet, if you want to call them that, are making a massive impact for the Giants this season. And Toby Bedford gets the goal. 43 points the difference. From the ruck, Keith wins it down. Steele needs to stand up for these Saints now. Gets it out wide to Butler. He hooks it across his body a little towards the top of the goal square. Hits the ground now. Ash wants to kick it clear. It could be a turnover. Wood back on the ground. Couldn't grab it. He handballs it to space almost. Hill runs onto it. Looking against the grain. Goes inside. Good kick. Wasn't far enough though. Steele gives it to Higgins. Now Hill again. Hits the ground and the Giants can go on the counter. Toby Green dragged down by Wanganeen Malera. Pin gone. That may be a little bit of the spark they need, the Saints. They were away there, the Giants. But Wanganeen Malera, great tackle. Looking for the perfect option here, Wanganeen Malera. Usually a good ball user. Again, they just go long. High to the top of the goal square. Pack of players form. Sharman at the back! Gives it off! Owens! Here's the chance the Saints need! Owens kicks the goal. Back to 37 points. Just when you think the Giants have it, the Saints just stick around a little. Cooper Sharman having the biggest impact as the forward today for the Saints. Other than the few minutes that Max King had in that second term, it's been Cooper Sharman all day. But he gives off a nice little goal there to Owens. And they do well there to get a goal. So 37 points. It's still a huge margin, of course. But the Saints can get a couple of late ones as they did in the second quarter. Maybe a breath of hope. Marshall from the tapped it backwards towards Sinclair, couldn't grab it. Key fighting hard in there, of course. Steele did well to get it out to Mason Wood, always has a left boot to use. Marshall dragged down from Whitfield. 2.5 minutes in this third term. Giants lead by 37, led by 43 a few minutes ago. The Saints got the last one. From the stoppage again, it's Tom Green, being good all day. Now Josh Kelly trying to shrug the tackle. He'll be in trouble here, Josh Kelly. And he is. Free kick goes the Saints' way, holding the ball. So Owens kicked the last one, has the ball on the wing. He plays on and goes high towards half forward, towards the Telstra logo there. King. Who took that one? They call the player in front, Sam Taylor. Who plays on now, gives it off to Himmelberg. Kicks it out wide. Not the best kick, gets at the back of that pack and trickle out of bounds. So back in the stoppage, it's Marshall and Keefe. Both players, probably hard to call that one. Steele sockers it off the ground forward. Gresham in front did well. Gives off the handball to Brad Hill. He does well. He's got a handball option over the top. It's Sharman. He has a few options inside the forward 50. Leading up there was Higgins. It gets past him. Iden fighting hard. First one back. Gives a little handball towards Whitfield. And the Giants just too quick. Iden does well. He runs past Max King. Burns him off. Kicks it inside the middle of the ground. Does well there, Cordy, to cause a contest. Gives it off to Steele. Now Webster. If the Saints are going to cause a comeback, they have to get the next one. He kicks it to Sharman. Sharman turns and goes. Finds Brad Hill inside the forward 50. And he tells everyone to wait. He won 3 premierships with the Hawks. Went to Fremantle. Then got the big money deal to come to the Saints. He's getting paid the big bucks. He needs to stand up now for these Saints. If there's any chance in this one, he needs to go back and kick this goal. He kicked one late in the second term. This one's a lot more difficult. Brad Hill, with the weight on his shoulders, stands up! Good finish from Brad Hill. 31 points the difference. They've kicked the last 2. They aren't dead in the water just yet, the Saints. Brad Hill nails the goal. So we're back in the middle once again. Can the Saints get another late one? From the ruck. Briggs slaps it down, but Marshall tries to get a clearance, got it smothered. Eventually taps it to himself. Marshall working hard. Does well to break through and get it forward. Long ball inside the forward 50. Himmelberg on it back. Should have marked it. Went for the spoil and completely missed it. King tries to break away. He dropped it. Should be in trouble. Play on. Iden handballs towards the boundary line. Callahan dragged down. Dropped it. Well done there from Winhage with a great tackle. Still 19 seconds. Saints had an opportunity there. King just couldn't get rid of it. So still 31 points. Umpire throws it in. Late chance here for the Saints. Marshall takes it out of the ruck straight to boot. Went straight up in the air. Marshall marks his own kick. Play on though. Gives it off to Hill. Now Winhager. Wanganeen Malira breaks into some space. This would be something! Oh, Wanganeen Malira gives them hope. Great finish from the young rising star. Right on the three-quarter time siren. Wanganeen Malira kicks the late one to give the Saints fans some hope. Well, they'll go into the three-quarter time break, the Saints, with all the confidence, kicking the last 3 goals of it in the space of about 2.5 minutes. But it is the Giants who have the lead by 25 points at three-quarter time. Scores are 9-8-62 to the Giants, 13-9-87. Alright, just bring up the statistics now, guys, and then I'm just going to go to the bathroom. Alright, guys, so at three-quarter time, leading disposal getters on the ground are Jack Steele and Tom Green, both with the 27 touches. Lockie Ash has 26, Lockie Whitfield has 25, and Rowan Marshall has 24 for the Saints. And then for the leading scorers out there, we have 2 goals, 1 to both Cooper Sharman, Max King, and Brad Hill for the Saints. And then for the Giants, we have Josh Kelly with 2 goals, with the 1 behind. Jake Riccardi with 2 straight, along with Jesse Hogan. So it is three-quarter time, guys. I'm just going to go to the bathroom quickly. So players moving back into position now, guys. Giants lead it by 25 points at three-quarter time. But it was the Saints who got the last 3 goals of that third quarter. Still one more game after this one. We will be streaming it as well. Port Adelaide and Brisbane Lions up at the Gabba in a massive qualifying final. The winner of this one will be playing the loser of the qualifying final, of course. But of course, we're right here, right now. Winner of this goes on. The loser, it's the end of their season for 2023. Marshall wins it down. Briggs gets it, gives it off to Breen. So Green will get the first clearance as he's done all day. Long ball towards the one-on-one. Not the best kick and cut off well by Battle. He wants to go. Kick towards halfback. Not the best kick, but he does well, Marshall, to mark it. So Marshall doesn't have a lot of options to go to, though. So he just holds it up for the moment. Wanganeen Malira leads it to some space. The kick was terrible. Cut off there by the Giants. It hits the ground. Kelly does well. Stocker working hard. Gives it off to Marshall, who just taps it on. Winhager spins out and gets it off to Stocker. He just gets it on the boot towards half forward. Does well Sharman to get in front. And he's in front of everyone here. It hits centre half forward. Iden fighting hard. It well gets to O'Halloran and he gives it off to Tom Green and the Giants can rebound. Into the middle of the ground, Ward gives it off to the running Whitfield, who breaks to about 60, takes one tackle and then gets dragged down. Great scrambling defense from the Saints. The Saints won't give up just yet. They can go on the counter. Steele gives it off to Sharman, who's been brilliant today, to the leading Butler. Good work, St Kilda. This would definitely get them right back in it. This would be for 4 straight goals. Dan Butler, great little lead up. Sharman's been massive. Maybe a coming-of-age game for him. But this is going to be a real nervous moment here for Dan Butler. Can he stand up to it? He's going with a snapshot kick. Butler around the body. Kicks towards goal. He's absolutely bellied it. It lands in the pocket and then slapped through for a point. Yeah, I don't know about a snapshot from that kick. He only had about maybe a 35-degree angle. It wasn't that bad. So now Ash has a bounce from the kick and keeps on going. Absolute helicopter down the wing. Wanganeen Malira takes the mark though on the intercept. He kicked the last goal of the third term. Kicks it in short to Gresham. He wants to go into the middle. He does. He finds Marshall, who wants to give off the handball, which he does. Battle. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Takes the mark. It's Jack Higgins. Somehow Jack Higgins, who's been hardly sighted all day, takes a good mark in a little pocket of space and straight in front, 25 metres out. This will bring it back to 18 points. Higgins straight in front, drills it. Grew up as a Saints fan as a kid. He'd love playing finals for him now. Back to 3 goals. The Saints just won't go away. Jack Higgins kicks the goal. They've kicked the last 4, the Saints. 3 in the last quarter. 1 now. Back from the stoppage. Kelly gives it off to Green, and again he gets the clearance. Tumbling ball inside the forward 50 in front. Jake Riccardi. So a chance here to quell the comeback here from the Saints. Jake Riccardi lines up. Tom Green doing brilliantly. He's got the first 2 clearances of this centre clearances of this last quarter. And a chance here for Jake Riccardi to nail the goal, which he does! Back to 24 points. It's going to be hard for the Saints now. So back out to 4 goals. Jake Riccardi kicks his 3rd, I believe. That's his 3rd goal. Yeah, it's his 3rd goal. So he's kicked the most amount of goals of anyone on the ground. Good finish. So a 4-goal lead for the Giants. Back in the ruck though. Marshall wins it down. Again, it's Tom Green. 3rd centre clearance in the quarter. Kicks a tumbling ball towards half forward. Toby Green got it slapped away from him. Kieran Briggs just slaps it forward, and now Daniels jams it on the boot. Forward pocket. Great mark from Battle. One-handed. They just have to go now, the Saints. They can't retreat. They have to go. Goes out wide. Dangerous kick though. Wilkie couldn't mark. Great pressure there from Toby Green. Goes down hard. Higgins may have got him high play on. Whitfield keeps it in bounds. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Daniel Lloyd pushes off his opponent. Snaps on goal and finds Riccardi in the goal square. For a 4th goal, Jake Riccardi. This would seal it. To send it out to 5 goals. Jake Riccardi, a coming-of-age game for him. Lockie Whitfield did really well on the boundary. He kept that in. And Riccardi... Oh, he's missed! Oh, no! He's had a Harry Mackay moment. It keeps the Saints alive. Can you believe it? He's been dead-eye all day, and he misses an absolute soda. So Callahan takes the intercept mark, though. He wants to run the perimeter of the 50. Oh, and the 50 metres will go to the Giants. Jack Higgins had a dirty day. He did kick the goal a moment ago, but a chance here for Callahan now to seal it. So the young wingman, Finn Callahan, the best footy is in front of him, of course, but he's had a great year. Pick 3 in the draft. Playing in his first final, Finn Callahan drills it! The Giants look like they're going on to next week. And the Saints may very well be gone in 2023. They break the 100, which is the first team to do that in this final series so far. Ross Lyon looks like he knows that this is about over now. The kick outside the defensive 50 was poor. Jack Higgins was told to stand and then ran. Really unlucky. I really hate that, but I guess it's the letter of the law. It's just been Tom Green in the middle of the ground, though, in this final quarter. He's taken the first 3 centre clearances, and he's done brilliantly. Here, though, is Kieran Briggs getting it forward. Over the top of his head there was Brent Daniels trying to get it as well. Toby Green taking it half forward, just sockers it forward almost. Met hard there was the Saints defender, Webster. Filippo off to Sinclair. Kicks it out towards the wing to a one-on-one. Sharman, great mark. He's been brilliant. And that'll be 50 as well. This will go the Saints' way. So Lockie Ash has given away that 50. Sharman will be taken all the way inside the forward 50. That's a long 50. So Cooper Sharman, he's kicked 2 today. A chance here for his third. And maybe the Saints are still in it. It's hard to believe. I keep on saying the Giants are home. But the Saints just keep on bobbing up with a goal. He's had 14 touches, 2 goals, 1. Sharman comes in. It's come off the side of his boot. It won't make the difference. Max King in the goal square almost took it and socked through there by Jack Buckley for a rush behind. Just didn't get a good connection on that there, Sharman. So a long kick there outside the defensive 50. Battle cuts it off. He looks to go inside to Wanganeen Malira. Had a pretty good game. Doesn't have a lot of options though. He wheels now and goes to half forward. Dangerous kick. Owens got pushed as he almost got pushed out of it. Perryman handballs at the space. Tom Green couldn't tackle Ross. He gets the kick forward, but Perryman cuts it off. Out wide to Callahan. Over to Iden, who's had a good game. Then snaps it down towards the wing. Up in front there is Battle again. Gathers it okay. Now they can go with the Saints. Off the wing. Filippo does well to turn inside. A high ball inside the forward 50. You just have to go, Max King. Taylor went up, didn't bring it down. Crouch little handball. Tried to handball it to Gresham. Went down there, the Giants defender. It's Keith. Taylor kicks it out of there. Brown sits under it. Does well to fist it away. Now it's Tom Green running after it on the wing with Ross. Green looks tired, but he does well to shrug it off. A finals warrior, Tom Green, he looks like. Gives it off there. Daniels to Toby Green. He's got a couple of options. It's Zane Cordy with a great tackle on him. He gets rid of it, Toby Green. Webster fighting hard. Still on the half forward line here, the Giants, but the Saints can get away now. Sinclair to Wanganeen Malira on the wing is Sharman. Kicks it inside. It's just an absolute mongrel, but it will work. Just steal. They've got a player out on the wing here, the Saints. They can go. He goes now, finds Mason Wood. He has to use his left foot and come back inside, which he does now. Long kick towards the one-on-one. Higgins and Himmelberg. Himmelberg did well to spoil it away. King and Taylor been good all day, both of them. Well, Taylor more most, and then a free kick's been ripped out, and it's going to go to Sam Taylor for a throw. It was a little bit of a scoop against Max King, and the Giants get the free. Iden at halfback takes the mark. Iden wants to go long now, which he does. Giants have got the numbers here. Riccardi just pushes Wilkie out of it. Going hard there is Marshall. Got it out of there somehow. Now Crouch dribbles the ball down the wing towards half forward, and it runs out of bounds. About 50 out from the Saints' goal. So Mason Wood still got his eye closed at the moment. He's really struggling with that right eye, which he got poked in that third quarter from Toby Green. In the ruck contest, it just misses both of them, and Brent Daniels gets the clearance towards the wing again. Out the back is Hogan. He takes it well, lets the traffic pass him. Doesn't have many options, so he just waits for him and then misses the handball for Daniel Lloyd and runs out of bounds. Should have hit that handball, but just missed him. Still 11, just over 11 and a half minutes to go in this fourth quarter. 5 goals the difference. Saints are going to have to need something really, really special to win this one. Back in the ruck, Marshall wins it down. Josh Kelly can't get it out, just sits on it. Umpire comes to relieve them both. Keith wins it down. Kelly trying to get there. Callahan does well, and then gets dragged down by Marshall. Play on. Owens gets off the handball to Hill. They can work through here, the middle of the ground here, the Saints. Clark spinning, looking for another option. Hill back to Clark. They're working backwards here, the Saints. Eventually they find Battle with some space in the middle of the ground. Good kick inside. Kicks it Filippo. Just went a handball. Not a good option. Hill just sockers it off the ground. Half forward is Sinclair, who takes the mark. And a leading Max King. In fact, it's Mason Wood. Couldn't bring it down. Great spoil from who was a Buckley. But now Sinclair couldn't gather it. And off the ground there was Tom Green. Mark was taken. Well there by Clark. They can go again here, the Saints. He finds Steele, who goes to Wanganeen Malira. He's got Hill in short. He wants to go longer than that into the pocket. Max King. Free kick's being called. No, it's a mark to Buckley. The Buckley in short to Taylor. He's been really good today. Despite those few minutes that Max King had in that second quarter, Taylor has won that battle in spades. So Taylor goes long and high towards the wing. Riccardi gets up. Cordy spores it away from him. Lloyd takes it out of bounds. Saints fans almost know now their season may be done from here. They've done really well this season to make the finals. You can't discount that. They were a team not expected to make it at the start of the year, and they've done so well with Ross Lyon back in the top job. Steele gets the clearance, but backwards. Now the Giants can go. Callahan gives it off to Daniels. This would be definitely the killer blow. He goes long to Riccardi. He drops it, but he gets the free. So Jake Riccardi, a chance here to kick his fourth goal. Missed an absolute soda a minute ago. A chance here to kick the killer blow. Cordy wasn't looking at it. It was definitely a free kick for front on contact. So Riccardi comes in to kick the Giants home. He's missed again. He was so dead-eye in the first 3 quarters, and now he's missed 2. Pretty simple goals, if I'm going to be honest, but that does bring it out to over 5 goals now with that behind. So Daniel Lloyd gets the cut-off mark. He turns it over, though, so now the Saints can rebound. Winhager in short to Marshall, and now Crouch. Going down the wing, good kick to Higgins. Takes the mark. Low down. He's got Gresham a little bit longer than that. He's going to have to go even longer towards the one-on-one. It's not the best kick. Iden sitting under that. In the hole. Good mark. Whitfield. Giants may just want to take a little bit of sting out of it. Taking maybe a minute or so off the clock. They lead by over 5 goals now. I want to see the Pies Giants prelim. That'd be pretty good, actually. So a long ball down the wing to a one-on-one here. Brown outnumbered. Battle did okay. Gets tackled well from Brown. And it'll be a stoppage right in front of the Giants interchange gate. So Cumming has been subbed out. Nick Haynes is into the game. Doesn't look like an injury. Looks like it's just been subbed out as a tactical change. Back in the ruck. Briggs has done well today. Couldn't get off the handball though, and it looks like an eye's been poked again. Briggs looks like he's the recipient of it. Callahan inside to the sub in Haynes. Now Bedford lets the traffic pass him well. Handballs it out wide to Josh Kelly. Wants to get onto his left boot. Eventually finds it. Sends it inside the forward 50 in front of Jesse Hogan. Couldn't bring it down. Green gives it off to Bedford. A chance to shut the gate now. Bedford, he's hooked it too much in the goal square as O'Halloran. Couldn't bring it with him. Now the Saints can rebound. Wangani Milera to Hill, who takes a bounce inside the defensive 50. Doesn't have a lot of options, so just goes to King. Good work there from Himmelberg, fighting hard. And he'll get a free kick as well. He's been good in the second half, Harry Himmelberg. Gave away an undisciplined free kick against Dan Butler in the first half. But he stood up in the second half brilliantly. Himmelberg goes out wide and gets it back from Whitfield. Back to Whitfield. And he wants to go long now. High ball inside the forward pocket. Battle reads it well. Takes a good mark. 50-metre penalty against Jesse Hogan. So the Saints will be escorted to the middle of the ground. So if the Saints want to somehow get back into this one, they have to go now. He goes in short to Sinclair. Missed him completely. That was a terrible kick by Battle anyway. Crouch just taps it on. Winhager dragged down from Callahan. Fair, it's okay. 68,000 at this game today. That's massive for not a big Melbourne club and the Giants, the smallest club in the comp, in the newest club. They've done really well to get a good crowd there today. Bedford running hard. Gives it off to Toby Green. Inside kick to Callahan, who's on his knee, still takes the mark. I guess it's their day. Callahan goes into the middle of the ground to Haynes, who takes the mark. He's got Brown running on the wing, which he goes to now. In fact, it's Connor Iden. He's got Brown over the top. A chance here. Brown gets on his boot, and he gets tackled well. Kicks it on the full. So now Cordy wants to switch the play. He goes to soccer. Just over 6.5 minutes now. You'd think it'd be done. I'm pretty sure it is. Crouch takes the mark at halfback. He goes onto the wing. Good kick. He finds Winhager, who goes inside to Steele. Good find. Steele off to soccer once again. He goes long inside the forward 50. King out the back. Good mark from Max King. Solid grab. Sam Taylor's had his number for most of the day, but to kick 3 goals in a final, still a good job. Sam Taylor probably just overran it a little, ran under it, and then Max King got his hands up in a great clunk. So Max King, pretty much straight in front, 20 out. He comes in and kicks the goal for the Saints. Back to 25 points. But I think it's all just a consolation prize at this stage. So the Giants will either be going to Brisbane next week or to the Adelaide Oval, depending on the next game. But I don't think they'll have much. I don't think they'll have many worries to go either way. Good tap down from Marshall. Owens gets the clearance. Sends it inside the forward 50. Taylor getting back, fists it away. Higgins in the pocket. Keeps it in bounds for the moment. Crouch. Handballs it towards Higgins. That was Higgins, in fact. Handballs it even further back to Ross, who sets it up. That got touched as he kicked it. Filippo couldn't grab it cleanly. Sharman probably got a high one from Himmelberg. Got sat on as well. Play on. Both players sit on top of it. It's called for a ball up. Adam Kingsley standing up on the bench now. He knows this game isn't won just yet. He'd probably be feeling that they've almost got there. From the ruck, Marshall taps it down. Sharman almost got it. Green handballed it out towards Ward. He slaps it towards Daniels. Couldn't grab it. Got under the leg there of Steele. Play on. Haynes gets it on the boot. Runs towards the boundary line. And that will be a stoppage. Saints fans a little bit disappointed with that. But it was definitely just a skill error. A couple of Saints fans giving the umpire the finger. Oh, you love it. Adam Kingsley on the bench yelling out to his team. Team have only got 5 minutes left. Brent Daniels couldn't grab it. Steele fighting hard. It gets out. No, it's stuck in there. Sinclair sitting on it. Marshall gets it out somehow. Ross out the back to Webster, who thumps it inside the forward 50 once again. Going up was Sharman. Couldn't bring it down. Buckley on the ground does well. Gives it off to Whitfield. Whitfield tumbling punt out towards the wing. It trickles towards Battle. Great tackle from Riccardi. Then let him go, unfortunately, for the Giants. Bedford shrugged off there by Crouch. Handballed out the back to Wilkie, who sends it out wide towards Battle. He's going to have to chase it. He's got over the top hill. He shakes past Bedford. He goes inside. Not 15, so the Saints have to go now. Crouch in the middle. He's got a leading option inside the forward 50. Cooper Sharman again. Taylor in front. Couldn't bring it down. Sharman fighting hard. Haynes slaps it away. Ash kicked it straight into Gresham. The players out wide is Whitfield and Hill. Whitfield did want to slap it towards Taylor, who handballs it over the top. O'Halloran, the late inclusion today, tried to shrug the tackle high, and Sebros takes him over. Despite the Saints probably losing today, they should be proud of their team. They've done really well this season to make the finals. Had a blistering start to the season. Kind of teetered on the edge throughout the mid part, and then held on at the end of the season to make the finals. But the Giants look like they're pretty much home. Ward let it go. Whitfield handballs it out wide towards Callahan. He gets it off nicely, just handballing for territory. Marshall did well to get rid of it. Oh, I got a free kick paid against him there, so a free kick will go to the Giants' way. So Daniels now. Halfback goes long towards Hogan. Oh, that's actually Kieran Briggs of all people. Great mark from the big guy. Had a massive game today. He's going to be big next week. Sends the ball long towards Hogan. 1, 2, couldn't grab it. Toby Green, this would be fitting. It gets out towards Toby Bedford. It was touch, play on. Let it go. Hill out the back towards Ross. He has some time in the defensive goal square. Goes out wide. It's not the best kick. Buckley couldn't bring it down. Haynes and Higgins fighting hard. Haynes just taps it for territory. Slaps it out of bounds and called deliberate. Okay. I guess it was deliberate. They have to go inbounds now, the Saints. Kicks it long, spoiling away from him. Crouch to Filippo. Gresham couldn't get it. Green just gets it to boot. That's Tom Green. And he may have hit the line there. He did. Seb Ross doesn't seem too convinced, but... throws it in. Marshall takes it out of the ruck. Step past Greenwell. Owens to Webster threw that out. Should have been pinned. Play on. Daniels almost threw it as well. Marshall, Gresham. Now Sinclair. Gets it on the boot to the wing. Got a bad bounce to Himmelberg. Gets out the back. Sharman. Taps it towards Higgins. Did well, actually. He had to step Himmelberg, which he did. Kick inside was really poor. Great mark from Crouch, though. He gives it off to Gresham. One late chance here for the Saints. He gives it off to Steele, the captain. Now Sinclair to his toes. A chance to get a late consolation prize. Sinclair, Sharman in the goal square. The Giants been too good. Get through for a rush behind. So now Himmelberg, long down the wing towards the MCC members. There was 68,000 at the MCG today. It's cleared out quite a lot since it looks like the Saints are gone. High ball inside the forward 50 for the Saints. Higgins playing for the free, didn't get it. Perryman drags him down. So just under 2 minutes to go. The Giants can't wait for this sound. Marshall takes it out of the right, kicks it towards goal. Standing in the hole is Nick Haynes, the veteran defender. Kicks it long towards halfback. Toby Green went up, couldn't bring it down. Kelly handballs it out wide towards the run of Toby Green, who tries to duck the tackle. Runs it out of bounds. So they've taken off Sam Taylor. Not as an injury, of course. It's just saving him for next week. He's not the sub. He's just been sitting on the bench. They know they've got it now, the Giants. From the ruck, Marshall couldn't bring it with him. Green tried to soccer it off the ground. Clark did well. Stood up nicely. Looking for the perfect option inside the forward 50. Too much on it for Filippo. And cut off there by Lockie Ash. Had a really good first half, Lockie Ash. Been a little bit quieter in the second half. But he's been one of their great contributors today. Sends it out towards the wing up with Toby Green. Couldn't bring it down. Hunter Clark. Wilkie throws it inside. Good play to Gresham. Now Hill. Wanganeen Malira about to get shut down. And he gets shut down! Well done, Toby Bedford. So Bedford with 30 seconds. They know they've got it, the Giants. Sends it right back to Buckley. Ash, back to Buckley. They can share this around in the back 50, the Giants. Just soak up the disposals. Adam Kingsley celebrating on the bench. They came to the MCG today. Big talks if they could win this one, the Giants. And here comes a big sound they'll love. The siren goes, and GWS go on in a massive win. The Giants are home against the Saints. What a massive win for the GWS Giants. You wouldn't want to come up against them into the finals. And they go on to next week. The final score is 11-11, 77 to the Saints. Go down to the Giants, who go on to next week to play either Brisbane or the Port Adelaide. 15-11, 101 to the Giants. A great win for them, and they'll be on to next week. Thanks for joining the stream today, guys. We'll be doing another stream in about half an hour with Port Adelaide versus Brisbane Lions. So make sure... Fucking Christ. Make sure to join that one. Great exit outro there. Just burped in it. But anyway, we'll be back pretty soon, guys.